Choo-choo! Choo-choo! Ha 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 ha!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Fun Speculation Podcast. It is Thursday, May the 21st, 7:10 p.m. Central Time, and we are live. Thank you all for hanging out in the chat, ready to get the show started. All of you rock. Shout out to you guys. Some quick shout outs to who is here early in the chat. BT Maverick, what's up? Silver Lab Guy, yo. We got Brett Bingham, who was here last week on the show. What is going on, bro? Let's see. We got 11 North here hanging out. How's it going? Ray Oid is here. Stanley Francois. How's it going, sir? OG maybe. E-Ranks. All of you people are absolutely amazing. Thank you for being here. And it is going to be a fun show. Fuzzy Belvedere will be here at some point. He already sent in the tidbit stuff, so... but he did warn me he's running late, as has become kind of usual as I'm starting the show by myself, so we kind of roll with the Mavcast right into FSP when Fuzzy gets here, but that's okay because we got a lot of stuff to discuss. It is showcase season on the horizon, and I am absolutely fucking pumped for that because it is, like less than 2 weeks away, really, before things get started. PlayStation announced the state of play for the 2nd. We have I think Summer Game Fest, I believe, is on the 5th. You got the Xbox Showcase as well on the 7th. So lots to be discussing. Nintendo Direct, I'm sure, will be a thing. You know, they always wait to the last minute to announce when these things are happening. But we know it will be happening. And I always get pumped for this time of the year. Shout out to anybody who's able to actually go to the showcases. I'm still jealous of all you motherfuckers. I want to meet you at some point, but it's okay. We'll hang out this year, and I will be co-streaming, as usual, all of the showcases, the big ones for showcase season. Of course, you know, like the big three that I mentioned. Possibly Nintendo Direct. We'll see. There's also usually like a future game show and some other stuff like that going on around then. But it's going to be a fun couple weeks ahead as it's not just the showcases coming up, but there's as well lots of Xbox news keeps dropping. PlayStation news keeps dropping, and like it seems like right now all the Xbox news is super positive, and all the PlayStation news is super negative. And it kind of goes for par as we've been talking a lot about this generation on the way things have been going, and it kind of coincides with how I feel about this gen. I made a post um, yesterday, I think. It's like that. I was kind of a realization that like this generation, I think I've played less PlayStation Studios games than any generation ever in the history since PlayStation has existed, which is absolutely crazy. Uh, Going from the PS4 gen into PS5 to think about the way things are going, and where we look at where Xbox is as far as game output and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm playing probably more Xbox first party games than ever before, going from last year and into this year, especially with the amount of titles that they're putting out. Things are rolling, and there's lots to be excited for as well, with reveals coming up for the showcase season. And if you can't tell, I'm a little energized because I'm fucking pumped for the showcases. I mean, and also I'm a little bit on a high because of Forza Horizon 6. Like Forza Horizon 6, guys. I mean, it already hit 6 million players, but it's about my experience, right? It's about y'all's experience. I don't care exactly how many people are playing. I'm just glad the game's successful. But oh my gosh, did they deliver again? Somehow I had these immense expectations for Forza Horizon 6. Finally got to put a significant amount of time into it. I had these immense expectations. I was like, Forza Horizon 5 was so amazing. Forza Horizon 6 is coming. They're finally going to Japan. The setting of our dreams, right, for a Forza game. And how is it all going to pan out? Can they actually even meet the standard that they set for 5 because it was so good? Well, not only did they meet those expectations, somehow they exceeded them into what is pure greatness and possibly one of the best racing games ever created. It has absolutely everything, but also presented in such an amazing way, and also adding that quality for the handling and the control. That's all been beefed up, as well as the graphics. The optimization is absolutely insane on Forza Horizon 6 as well. It runs great on everything. So, like, if you're a racing game fan or just a gamer in general, Forza Horizon 6 is setting this standard again of what is capable, not just for racing games, but just like gaming in general for a brand new release. Um, to have as much content as polished as it does is super freaking rare these days. And we see the result with the feedback from the community, from the success of the game so far, from all the positivity surrounding it. And I think part of it is because you can play it in so many different ways. Like, let's say you just love taking photos. Yeah, you just go around taking photos. I'm obsessed with the photo mode, if you haven't been able to tell with all the screenshots I've been posting. Um, Car customization has been beefed up. If you're just super into the racing, they have a much better progression system with just getting in and out of races quickly this time around. Exploration has been even beefed up with one of the most beautiful settings you've ever had in a racing game, period. And I got to give them props for actually just Tokyo. And I was blown away numerous times. I'm just driving. I just got to stop and take in the scenery because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is giving me those feels, giving me those vibes. Like I love everything that they've done with this game. I can't praise it enough, and it could be one of the best games of this generation. Period. Not just racing. And we'll see if kudos are given to it at the Game Awards later this year. For honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's just interesting to think about and to see, like, with this year's stacked releases, if a genre that's been overlooked and with being lumped in with other genres like adventure games, action games, RPGs, all that kind of stuff, can a racing game make it to the nomination list at the Game of the Year awards? And I think if there's any year that it could happen, it'd be this year. Although the only knock is that there is stiffer competition this year, I think, even than when Forza Horizon 5 should have been nominated for Game of the Year. But, it's going to be interesting to see how the media all um, votes later this year. Will the release on PlayStation help it in some way later this fall to potentially get nominated? By then there will be um, more people even playing it at that time, and it's gonna be on another platform, so they're gonna have another wave. So it'll be interesting to see all the reactions. I can't wait till Fuzzy gets here later because I'm just gonna have him dive into his experiences with it so far. But yeah, if you guys want to check out, also I got if you're on my friends list, I do have a Fun Speculation logo on there. I have it on my cards. If you can see in the screenshots, it's small, But if you're in just deciding you want to wrap Fun Speculation in any kind of way, it's for you guys to use. I'm not asking you to, but it's cool if you want it. It's there. Um, and yeah, it's just absolutely amazing game so far, and again, I can't speak highly enough about it. And shout out to Sea Lord of Bravos, how's it going? JMO Money, Sotnist, how's it going to you? Def Leopard, Crispy Bomb, shout out to Crispy, how's it going, man? Mr. Waffles, yeah, lots of gaming news this week. Yeah, like we made the thumbnail last night, and it's like even more news has been dropping. We got new Xbox executives stepping in. One of them specifically is already saying some things that is raising some eyebrows and some perking some ears from Xbox fans. Like this guy, both of the new hires that were announced, the chief strategy officer and chief technical officer, I think is what their positions are. Matthew Ball, and the other one's name is Scott Van Vliet, I think, or Vliet. I don't know how to say the last name, but there's a lot of talk with those people being infused into the leadership team there, how they're going to be seeing the direction of Xbox. They're both talking about reinforcing the console. They're talking about Matthew Ball specifically mentioned bringing back franchises and kind of reinforcing classic franchises. Also talked about where it makes sense to kind of adding more like long term customization and support to some of these games to allow for more community involvement with them, stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of interesting things to discuss, even with just what they've said so far and who these guys are, that Xbox fans maybe should be a little bit excited about this as well. We have more, like I said, there's PlayStation news, like Destiny 2 is no longer going to be getting support going forward. You have them confirming basically through an internal memo, I believe is what it was, or a meeting, that they are not going to be putting their single player games on PC, which kind of with the timing of that, what happened a little bit around the same time as the announcement of the state of play. Which is going to be a longer state of play than we've seen from them in a while. So we got like over an hour's worth of looks at games, including an in-depth look at Wolverine. Just so much stuff to talk about and discuss, man. It's GTA 6 has been discussed a lot. Again, confirmation of the November 19th release. Xbox has launched their Xbox Game Studio storefront or merch shop. Again, they have the player voice thing that they put out there for people to give feedback. And again, of course, the number one request is for them to bring back exclusives. Absolutely just crazy amount of things happening in the space of gaming, especially Xbox. And I still see that energy and excitement coming back. Of course, you have the whole debate that's kind of splitting up the community a little bit of exclusives. And then somehow this generated the conversation of day one games on Game Pass versus exclusivity, like they have to be included in one or the other for some reason. But it's interesting to see all this talk and some momentum back within Xbox, and for the most part, the community is kind of getting back together and under this new leadership. And it's kind of revitalizing not just the brand, but also just the spirit of everything. So I'd like to see that. Speaking of something I wanted to talk about a little bit, and you know, this is going to be revealed at a later time, but there's going to be some a little bit interesting changes with the channel, you know, with fun speculation. Not ready to announce anything yet, but I would say maybe like the Thursday show before the Xbox showcase. Look for some kind of announcement or something. Then I got to make sure everything gets done. Got some work to do and stuff. But yeah, stay tuned. Gonna be working on some things that maybe it'll bring us some little excitement there as well. Let's see who else we got here hanging out. Ninja Squirrel says, a long time no Pixelated Echoes podcast or Black Viking podcast. Anyone know how come? Well, I know that Viking works at Microsoft now. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. You would have to ask him, but you know, he's an awesome guy, so I'm sure he would be open to answering any questions if you just send him a DM or something. As far as Pixelated Echoes, 3-Bit has moved again. I'm starting to think like he's getting kicked out of all these places. I don't know what's going on. You know, maybe he like, you know, like leaves trash on the front yard. I don't know what's going on, but he keeps getting kicked out of all of these places apparently because he keeps moving. I don't know, man. But yeah, he's in a new place again. He's also been hard at work on a lot of stuff in the background with some of his work that he's been doing. So it's going to be. I did discuss Pixelated Echoes with him. Like, when are you bringing it back? And he said hopefully soon. So I'm sure he's got to get everything set up well. And hopefully we'll see him start to pop on our shows again, as well as Pixelated Echoes coming back. Moving sucks. Yes, it does. He said he did hire movers for the first time this time, so that was a little bit easier for him. Fuzzy Tomato says, fun speculation going multiplat Project Mavtitude. No, that's definitely not a thing, you know. But maybe you guys will be excited for the announcement or kind of what we're going to be bringing to the channel. So he be spreading the bed bugs. Brett says, I don't know. We got to ask through why he moves so much. You know, it sucks when like, because we used to rent houses a lot. You know, we were renters, and like sometimes it was just, hey, they decided to sell the house, you know, or like they want to go up on the rent or whatever, and it's like, it's no, you know. Sometimes you just don't like, you live the place for a year, or you just don't like it. So I don't know what the situation is, but like, yeah, he's in another new place, and yeah, I'm happy for him that he's getting settled in. And also I did talk to Pong, so Pong maybe is gonna be there for our showcase stream. He's got some work to do on his PC, so he's trying to get that settled. I'm excited if he's able to hop in to join us. So he's doing good. Other than that, guys. So I know we get a lot of questions about how's Pong doing and all that kind of stuff. So OG maybe says, I'm told it's pronounced Van Fleet. Well, why doesn't he spell it like that? That would be a fucking lot easier. Like some ancestor of his should have been like, you know what, we got to make this easier going forward, you know, and just officially change the spelling of their name, right? You know, like, I mean, come on, just change it, like Van Fleet. You know, like the NBA player that was on the Raptors, Van Fleet. That's way easier to say if you actually have the spelling not all weird and shit. I don't know how to spell Vilet or Vliet. Let's see what we got here. Shout out to Mac22TH54. We got Alvin 9033. Shout out to you. Alvin says, pour one out for the Guardians RIP Destiny franchise. Yeah, and supposedly they're not even getting started with Destiny 3 yet. You know, supposedly it's not in active development or anything like that. They're pouring more resources into Marathon. Is that a worthy investment? I don't know. I don't know if it's a worthy investment. But that sneaky snack. Shout out to you for that $2 super chat. Much appreciated. Again, support here is always appreciated, never expected. Or should I say, never expected, always appreciated is a better way to say it. Yes, Pong, come back, you say. Yeah, I'm going to keep begging him to get back here. I'm going to keep begging. So, shout out to you, Ninja Squirrel. NFL season not far away. Bo Nix to come back and lead Broncos to the Super Bowl. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe the Cowboys can get it together and meet the Broncos in the Super Bowl with all of our new defensive players and coaching staff. Got to get that shit together. Fuzzy Belvedere has made it fresh arrival from Japan. Got the flight from Tokyo straight to the podcast. How many hours you put into Forza Horizon 6 so far, Fuzz?
I haven't put in as many as I would like. I've had to work on some other things and had to do a school field trip today.
Oh, yeah?
Didn't get as much time as I want, but I'm pretty sure I'm past the 15-hour mark, or somewhere between 12 to 15 hours at least.
Nice.
I'm only at about 500 roads. But like I said, I took a bit of a break from driving around, did some tunes, did some like one or two paint schemes, shared those out. So go download those now. But yeah, there's not enough hours in the day. Like everything from just the exploration to different races. I've yet to really dive into like the jobs and the story stuff. So those are the next things I want to accomplish. And I'm not going for top of the leaderboards. I just want to get 3 stars on all the jumps, drifts, and speed traps, which I'm pretty close to doing. There's one drift that took me like 6 tries to get like the 3 stars, but it was all because I forgot I had the traction control on that particular car because it's hard to control. So
yeah.
But yeah, having fun with it. It's almost everything I wanted. The traffic is dense, but not as dense as it could be for at least the highway stuff. But there are times where you're trying to get that speed trap or whatever, and it's like, darn it, I gotta rewind because I just knocked the car clear off the highway, and then redo the run and stuff like that. But there are times the traffic gets in the way. But the good thing is when you're doing the speed zones and the drifts, they are kind of like ghosted. So
yeah. But other than that, how you doing, man? Good.
oh, doing great. We went to, I forget the name of the penitentiary, but it's like an old Pennsylvania or Philadelphia solitary confinement prison that the city eventually engulfed and built around, and they stopped using it, I think, in the 1970s, and it's kind of dilapidated, but they're restoring it for historic purposes and showing off the Capone vault, and or not vault, but like his particular cell that he had, and it was all decked out with the stuff that he had. They were like, yeah, back in the day, not many people had nightstands and mirrors and all this stuff, but he had full access to his wealth in the commissary, which I guess was like worth 1.5 billion back then. So it's like he might as well add a butler to help put on his shoes, kind of.
He could have probably bought the prison.
I think some of that money they used to put towards the expansion of the prison.
Yeah, it's like Daredevil season, Born Again season 2, or what, season 1, or wait, no, maybe it was Daredevil season. I can't remember which Daredevil season it was. Maybe it was season 3. Yes, Daredevil, the original Daredevil season 3, like when Fisk like owns pretty much everybody there at the prison, is it just makes you like, and then he like convinces them to let him out into his like some mansion suite, it's absolutely crazy, man. East Texas Alex says, what are your thoughts on Jason Kidd not being coach anymore? Oof. Well, this is a little off topic for gaming, but I'll dive into this because I am a huge Mavs fan. I think that with Masai Ujiri coming in as the new president, and with everything that happened in the past couple years with the whole Luca trade and everything, going from a championship contending team being in the finals to going to win 26 games this year, I think everybody involved with that should be gone. Now, Jason Kidd has done great things in Dallas numerous times, right? As a rookie, come back in his later career, won the championship with Dirk in 2011, then came on to come in and coach, lead us to a Western Conference Finals and then the finals. I thought he was a good coach for that era of the Mavs, but we're starting a new era. And I think a cutoff is probably a decent move. I'm not saying he's a bad coach or anything like that. I've had issues with some of his moves with minutes allocated to specific players in the past numerous times, or some of his substitutions, mainly as far as like how he's coached the game. I think he's a genius overall, basketball savant. I like what he did with Cooper Flag last year. I think he helped him really develop into somebody that's got way more comfortable from when he started to where he was at the end of the season when he's dropped in 40 and 50 bombs, cementing his rookie of the year status. But going forward, I think that for the direction of the team, building a new young core around Cooper Flag is going to be a very important task. And this is going to be, something that's going to take several years. Jason Kidd also has aspirations to be, higher up in the front offices at the teams and stuff. And I think some of his wanting control kind of conflicts with Masai Ujiri being he is the guy that's going to make the final decisions. As well as we have Mike Schmitz, who is also going to be the official GM under Masai Ujiri too. So, I think Kidd is not going to have as much control as he wanted. And I think it's just time to move on. Question will be like who they bring in. And I think they're going to really take their time to pick the right coach. So I'm excited about the future, man. Excited to hopefully get a new arena here in the next 5 years and maybe have a rebranding of the team to kind of cement the new era, kind of like they did back when Dirk was, young player. I think that would kind of bring a lot of spirit back and stuff. So anyway, yeah, that was my Mavs talk. Stay tuned for Fun Speculation Sports at some point where we'll dive deep into some of this stuff that I could speak about for hours and hours. Also excited for the draft coming up as well, because I think we'll get a good player this year. But yeah, going back into gaming, man, Fuzz, I've also been digging Forza Horizon 6, bro. Like, it's really been this game that has been something that I like. I've always had passion for Forza. Always had high expectations for Forza. Forza Motorsport delivered in a lot of ways, but kind of was let down in some ways. And Playground has every single game ascended, in my opinion, instead of having this kind of setbacks or switching things up in a negative way or removing things. Instead, let's just keep more and more and more. The quality of the setting this time, I think, is the best the series has ever had. Just going around, the terrain feels better, like the vistas are better, they just nailed Japan and the sense of the beauty of it and driving around it. The kinds of cars you see on the road, the city is amazing. But then you get down to the grassroots of it. None of that would matter if it wasn't for how good the game feels to play and looks, right? And it's like they nail every aspect, really. And I said this on stream yesterday when I was streaming the game. It's kind of like one of those games where if you were a gamer, like, we all did this when we were, if you're a passionate gamer like we all are, and I know a lot of you guys in the chat can relate to this. You've had those conversations. If I made a game, I would do this, I would make this, or like, what if they made a game like this, or what if they did this? And it's like Forza Horizon has become the basic, like, everybody's ideas of what a racing game can and should be, all jammed into one game. I mean, there's the street racing, the drift racing, the drag racing. You know, you got the rally, dirt tracks. You got um, exploration. You know, you got the photo mode. You got the creativity with the vinyls and and it's all packaged together. Where there's not really something that you feel like is missing. You know, and it's not just that there's not anything missing, it's that everything that's there is also done and expanded upon in a big way. And like with the addition to the customized garages and stuff, I was blown away with how in depth that is. That's just like an extra thing that has never been there before. And you can not only go in and completely customize your garage on your houses, and you can download other people's pre-made shit that they took the time to do, because I'm too lazy to do that shit these days. I'm gonna go look for the people that like, oh, I'm gonna make this like awesome like sitting area. I'm gonna make this awesome like desk wall. I'm gonna make this like, hey, cool, I'll steal that shit and put it in mine. Hell yeah. Oh, somebody made an oval track. Hey, cool, I'm gonna put that on my estate. Why not? I just made a fucking oval track on my estate. It just, hey, downloaded it and just set it there. Super easy. You can delete trees and move them around. You can stamp objects, like all the stuff just in like an extra little feature. It's like its own thing now. I mean, I'm blown away with the in depth of like everything in the game and how well each thing is done. It's not like, hey, we need to do this, but like we can't spend too much time on it. It's like everything that they did decide to do is like fully invested in. And um again, like I said, though, none of it would matter if it wasn't beautiful and played extremely well. And you could argue it's one of the best feeling controlling racing games out there. You could argue it's the best looking racing game out there, and you could also argue that it has the most content of any racing game out there. And you're all talking about the same fucking game, which is insane. We shouldn't be able to put all those checks into the same game. But that's what Forza Horizon is. That's what Forza Horizon 6 has become. And this time also with the setting of our dreams. So, man, absolutely nailed it, bro. And I know all you guys in the chat, y'all are loving it too. Can't wait to play some multiplayer with some of y'all. I've just been playing mainly single player. Now, Fuzzy, I've decided I have a strategy.
Mhm.
Because there's so much content here, right? In Forza Horizon 5, I put tons and tons of hours into, but I still didn't ever finish everything, you know?
Yeah.
So I made a decision. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grind through this and I'm just going to do everything. And I'm not going to worry about how well I did at everything. I'm going to get through it. And then my extra time, I'm going to go and try and be the best possible thing at the things I care about the most, right? And then spend more time in multiplayer as well. I think that'll be my like way I play Forza Horizon 6. If I don't get too distracted from taking photos all the damn time.
Yeah.
Have you experimented with photo mode a lot yet?
I Not as much as I would like. Like I've done a couple drift photos where somebody was drifting their demon up the circle highway, and I was drifting my Sylvia down the circle highway, and we just kind of gently passed by each other. So I got a couple of photos of that, but I haven't put them out on the web. I'm gonna probably publish those some point this weekend. But I've been mainly taking pictures of the cars that they want for the collection. So anytime you see like a little camera above a car, like whether it's like almost every race I do, well, now it's not as frequent, but all the early races, you would see like those little cameras above the cars. I would
Mm-hmm.
pause it to go into photo mode, take pictures of those cars, because then you get like 5 or 6 of them in a row as far as what you add to the collection of photo mode and stuff like that. Because each car, they want you to photograph like each car or 550 unique
Yeah.
cars.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I've been doing a lot of that, I'm only about 170 in.
Right.
So it's like there's so many more cars. But the photo mode, as much as I loved it in five, there's a few extra things that they've done with this one, and I got to get my settings right. Now that I'm more familiar with aperture and focus angle and
Mm-hmm.
or shutter speed and all that stuff. I think I can do a little bit better job on some of these photos, but like I've seen some of the people's photos and it's like on like a high end PC, some of this stuff looks like photorealistic. Like there's
Yeah.
one where you can see a little bit of water on the road and the cobblestones or like the kind of like the separated road under like the overpass and stuff. Yeah, it's this
Yeah.
game is phenomenal. But
It's
like
pretty
even on the
insane.
Series X, the pics come out great. Series S, I think about the only thing that's kind of soft would be like the character pictures, but most people are just taking pictures of the cars and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, but
I
this game
I,
is
I have a
phenomenal.
couple where like I had to stop because I was like in the docks area, and then I noticed like
Mhm.
off in the distance there's Mount Fuji. Then there's like Tokyo
Yeah,
right there. There's like an overpass right next to me, and it's overlooking the water over the city. As like that was my first picture. I was like, I got to stop here and take a photo. And I did it kind of like at it standing back further, so that way like I could capture all of it. Then I have my
mhm.
character like just like standing by the car, looking at everything. It's like um it's just a blast to mess with, man. Like even just like photo mode, you could lose yourself for hours just trying to create the best photos you could possibly take.
Yeah,
It's absolutely amazing. They nailed it. I think all the tens are justified. So from what I've played so far, and
oh
I
yeah,
can't wait to be pouring hundreds of hours into this over the next several years. It'll be that de facto racing game. This will probably be the racing game of the gen. You know,
yeah.
and
Well,
maybe longer.
I think it'll be. I joke with a few people in a couple of different chats. I'm like, this is the game of the generation because
Yeah.
people will be playing this 10 years down the road. I hope at that point they open up to mod support so we can do some additional things to it that will just keep it alive for pretty much forever. And I still think Forza Horizon 7 is going to be their hardest task yet. But question I have for you, how do you feel about the handling? Like, you notice how close it feels to motorsport.
Yes, and there was like specifically like certain cars, like the road in the grip feels more natural in this as opposed to less slippy in a way as opposed to the last Horizon games. It
Mhm.
takes it just a step closer to that sim level. I mean, it's not a sim, but it takes it a little bit
Yeah.
closer to that handling, and it kind of marries a little bit more of what I love about motorsport into this, right? But I've noticed it where I noticed it even more so than on like just the road courses is on the actual dirt and terrain courses, because like one of the first cars I got was a Ram because I have a Ram, and it was like offered me to choose like one of the three things. Like, oh, that's a maroon Ram. That's my car. It's a nicer version of my car, but like that's yeah, I'm gonna pick it. So, but I noticed all the little bumps you feel way more, um, to where you can really feel the terrain that you're on, no matter what it is. If it's
Mhm.
smooth, if it's dirt, if it's like rocks and grass and all that kind of stuff. Um, I don't know how they achieved the level of feeling that this game has with the contact between the tires and in the terrain or road, whatever you're on. But they stepped that up definitely. And this is I didn't really pay a lot of attention to all the little technical stuff that they've had, talks about and stuff. But I can tell they specifically poured some time into that, because it really makes a big impact. The cars feel so much more different too than in the past. Like if you're doing the mech race, that I think it was the
Mhm.
NSX that they gave us for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my initial man, this thing is fucking grippy, bro. The
Yeah.
NSX handles like so well, dude. As for the speed that you're going in that car, comparatively to the cars I was driving, I was like, wow, that I could just really feel the difference on how much more traction this car has, and responsiveness. It helps you maintain the higher speeds. But then they have the Supra, which feels completely different from the Skyline, which feels completely different from
Hmm.
the RX-7. And it's just uh, makes it so much fun to play with the different cars. How different they all feel. So, are you
Yeah.
getting the same kind of feeling from that, or
Well, the first thing I notice, and being a fan of rear wheel drive cars, is how when you like let off the gas and do some turn in,
yeah,
if you give it too much turn in, you'll start to feel the back end step out.
yeah,
So
it's
that's
realistic,
like
yeah,
I don't. Yeah, it feels so realistic and it makes the drifting easier without having to, rely on like the parking brake and stuff like that. So it's like certain cars, you got enough rear wheel horsepower, just give it a little bit more input into the turn in, and you'll get it sideways and then just, steady it with the gas pedal from there on out. That was the big thing for me. And like you said, even on like the dirt and stuff like that, the difference in tires between the rally tires and the dirt tires, like
yeah,
there was kind of like a cheat code in five where you could get away with using dirt tires on some of the cars and it would hold up a lot better for less points than the rally tires. But yeah, they kind of did away with that. The dirt tires do have their advantages, especially if it's like wet and muddy kind of stuff. But when it's like the gravelly, small rocks and stuff like that or sand, you're probably better off with the rally tires and stuff along those lines as far as traction is concerned. Like the dirt tires will work, but then slowing down, yeah, you're not slowing down as
mm-hmm.
much. And then your turn in, you're basically going to be turning sideways the entire time. So if you want to drift in the dirt tires will probably work better than the rally tires. The rally tires will grip a bit better. So if you're doing speed zones, rally tires is the way to go. If you're doing drift zones on the dirt, do the dirt tires, and that
Right.
will balance out better. But yeah, there's I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's not really Simcade. No, just turn off all the nannies. Turn off the anti-lock brakes. Turn off the stability control. Turn off the anti-lock or the traction control. Turn it from standard steering to simulation steering. You'll get it'll feel a lot more like motorsport. It's just that you're not on a prepared track, you're on a prepared or not prepared, but you're on the street or pavement or dirt
Mm-hmm.
and grass, so it's you don't really get to see what those same types of tires would do in motorsport because they're always on a track that's a treated surface kind of thing, so
Right.
but yeah, this game is gonna soak up so much of my time, and I gotta get ready to go, to California here soon, so it's like I'm debating on bringing my Series S for when we do get to the hotel, but I'm probably going to want to hang out and have dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, man,
Well, dude,
jonesing for these races and stuff like that.
well, let me tell you. Speaking of like traveling and stuff, like I booted this thing up on the LIX. It is so crispy looking on there, dude. It absolutely floored me. When I booted it up on there, I'm like, it's a smaller screen and stuff, so it's hard to compare to the ultra wide, but just the visual like quality on just that screen, it's like,
Mhm.
man, that is pretty top notch. I'm like, I was arguing, does this look better than even on my PC? And maybe just because like it's all compacted, you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
dude, it is so crisp and smooth on the LIX. It's absolutely insane, man. I haven't played it on a Series S yet, so I wouldn't be able to speak to that, but I've heard good things. Seen
It
videos and
plays,
stuff.
yeah, it plays well in the Series S. Like the only thing that I'll say the first thing I notice is that if you pay attention to the characters in the cars on any other platform, whether it's PC or Series X,
Yeah,
Series S, I won't say they look blurry, but they do look a bit soft. That would be
mm-hmm.
about the best way to put it. But I would say if you're doing performance mode, which I think it has it by default on performance mode. I could be wrong. I got to check the Series S downstairs, but that's about the only thing I really noticed is that the character inside the car is the soft part. And then maybe the draw distance is a little, less. Like
Yeah,
it may look a little bit more foggy when you go to see Mount Fuji in the distance kind of deal, but it doesn't stand out as like, oh, this is so worse. It's like I don't feel like I have Vaseline on my eyes or anything like that. So, but the Series X is definitely good. I'm learning I need a new video card. Um, I
What's in your
have
PC now?
3080
Mm,
that's overclocked, but it's
yeah.
only 12. I think I think I have
Oh, the
12
VRAM.
gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like everything on max. I can play it for like an hour or two, and then it'll be like running low on memory.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's
Yeah.
because like I have at that point I have the ray tracing at high, and I have the shadows at high,
Yeah.
the volumetric, or I forget, the global illumination at high, and then everything else is extreme, and it's like, oh, it looks so perfect.
Yeah, it
And then
does.
it's like when
You
you
using
have eight
DLSS?
cars, yeah. And I'm
Mm,
I'm only doing 1440. I can't do the full 4K at it, but I've
yeah.
gotten used to 1440 for so long with this card. It's like you can turn all the bells and whistles up, but I'm running low. It's like, oh, I just did a race with 16 cars, and now everything is, giving me warning signs. And it doesn't like freeze or lock up. It's just they'll say,
Yeah.
the little warning thing will pop up. And then if I don't do anything, it'll like freeze for a second until I do something, or it'll prompt me to adjust it down, and I can see the bars in the red. And I'm like, "Ugh." So I either got to spend money on a 4080 or 5080. I mean, I can get a 5070, but I'd rather stay in the same series, get a 16 gig, and
Oh,
that should hold me for a couple of years.
yeah. I mean, the optimization on this game has been pretty amazing to for us to be able to have everything at like extreme and like I have a 7900 XT, which is like it's a
Mhm.
20 gigabytes of VRAM, right?
Nice.
But AMD doesn't have as good a ray tracing as Nvidia, right? But
Mhm.
um, and I would say the DLSS is probably better than the FSR 3.5 is what it's on currently. Um,
Mhm.
but with FSR 3.5 at quality mode, streaming or playing the game at ultra wide, which is like 3440 by 1440, I believe,
Mhm.
and everything on extreme and high and like the ray tracing on high and all that kind of stuff. Right now I'm getting like anywhere between 70 to 90 frames per second consistently, and it's like
Yeah.
buttery smooth. Now what I'm really excited for is in July when my card will be updated with FSR 4.1,
Yeah.
because there is a little bit like with FSR 3.5, there's a little bit of noise on some of like the trees and stuff, and like a little bit of ghosting on the cars, just a tiny bit. Nothing to that makes it like look horrible. When it's in fast motion, you can kind of notice those things, but like FSR 4.1 like gets rid of all that shit, you know.
Yeah.
So and I think it's also more performant as well. So when FSR 4.1 comes out in July for RDNA 3 and cards, then I
Mhm.
think it's going to be pretty amazing. And like speaking of that, like in 2027 at some point, FSR um, 4.1 is coming out to RDNA 2 cards.
Yeah.
And
Series X as
RDNA2
well.
architecture. So that means this, like, and I mean, what I don't know what that means for the Series S. If that was be included in there as well, I don't know. I'm not a technical guy, but I think the Series X for sure should hopefully get
Yeah.
that, um, as well as just all the other games that have been taking advantage of FSR on you know or other devices. Like I don't know if the Ally X is RDNA 3
I think
or
they're 3 or like a 3.5 or something
yeah.
like that.
So there's like that. Like it should be amazing to have these just automatic kind of enhancements to our games. Like, and I don't think you guys are because I was like this RDNA this, RDNA that. Oh, I got to see all this shit in action. As I've been playing on PC a lot more over the last like couple years, I've really and as FSR has continued to improve, I've seen
Mhm.
the performance and the benefits for image quality like really transparent because you can toggle those settings on and off, so it's easy to like see really quickly.
Yeah.
And I think the inherent just upgrade if the Series X does officially actually get this in 2027, right? I think it's going to be actually kind of monumental. The amount of games that actually take advantage of FSR with Xbox, especially, are like, I mean, it's most of them, if not all of the actual Xbox games, right? So
Mhm.
you're talking about all of these games all of a sudden getting like extra level of crispness and stuff, and smooth, better frame rates, all these kind of things. I'm wondering if any of the developers on any of the kind of ongoing games go back and actually up the quality a little bit, on settings on some of these console games, because FSR 4.1 is going to allow them to. It's possible. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see what that actually means. For Xbox Series X. Because we'll be keeping our, the Helix is coming out at some point here,
Yeah.
probably maybe late next year, if everything works out. But these Series X's are going to be played for years to come. You know, I don't anticipate there being an immense volume of Helixes available or even purchased out the gate, just because the cost is going to be what it is.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it's important for these games to keep improving, and I'm super glad that AMD decided not to gatekeep that. You know, just to sell more of the higher end, newer cards. Because they could have.
Yeah. I think they saw what Nvidia was doing, and they were like, "You see how pissed people are with Nvidia now,
Yeah.
and how expensive their cards have gone." And sure, AMD would love to make that Nvidia money, but they're making more of their stuff on the enterprise. So this is AMD's perfect time to kind of take that chunk of market, because Nvidia is like, screw gamers, basically at this point. They're like, you're not enough. We're going enterprise. So AMD, they've caught up to DLSS with this 4.1 setup. So I think at that point, that's the thing that's going to allow them, one, to sell more cards. They don't have to come out with like a 8 series card or something like that, but
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of like your card and the like generation before that, they'll probably sell a good bit of those, or people will be able to, sell their, RDNA 2 card, get a RDNA 3 card, and probably be able to break even, or just the upgrade cost for it type of thing, because they're going to be in demand because they're still supporting their product. Um, yeah, it's going to be great, and especially the fact that I think these consoles, both the series consoles as well as the PS5, I think those are going to probably be more in use for cross-gen games
Mm-hmm.
beyond 2030. Like, I think we'll be in 2033 when they might stop supporting PS5 and series consoles. I think we get the longest generation out of this generation. It will be
Yeah.
10 years plus.
I wonder if it'll get so old that eventually they'll actually start going down again at some point. Or if the
Hopefully.
pricing is just going to keep going the way it is. I joke all the time, like, hey, if you want to start investing in something, invest in buying a shit ton of consoles and just letting them sit in a closet. Like the inflation on those things has just been absolutely insane. Um, yeah, man. Appreciate you being here as always, Fuzz. Let's see, we got a Poison Maniac sharing out the channel and sharing out our Discord. Appreciate that, Poisoned. Alvin says Asha's gonna want to push Helix sales, but they're ramping up. Yeah, I remember when PlayStation did that. They started like production on PS5 for like a long time before they actually went to market. So that way they had like more stock. Of course, they all ended up getting got by bots anyway, so it didn't fucking matter, right? But yeah, we'll see. Maybe there's something like that going on. Who knows? Yeah, I'm wondering too, like if they could do stuff with the like Fuzzy Smith says, Xbox should at least update some of their own games with it. I'm wondering if they could also, kind of revisit the whole like backwards compatibility stuff, like older games, like, somehow kind of get them updated to take use of some of this, make use of some of the newer technology and stuff. That'd be interesting, for sure. But yeah, guys, shout out to everybody here in the chat, and if you are also an audio listener, shout out to you. Appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. All those kind of cool things greatly helps us grow. Shout out to Psycho, bro. What's up, Psycho? when is your ass ever gonna hop on a show again, dude? I know you're busy working, selling Lego Batman and Pokemon and shit right now, and later this week you'll have, First Light. But we miss you, Psycho. Eventually, maybe you can make your presence felt again, bro. But hope you're doing well, man. You got work for a midnight launch of Pokemon and Lego Batman, which the Lego Batman game's also been getting great reviews. I've been people saying it's like one of the best Batman games made.
Yeah.
I definitely want to play it at some point. I am disappointed they don't have online co-op for that.
Mm.
It's just couch co-op, which me and Kate are probably going to play couch co-op on it. But at this day and age, right? Let's have that online option as well. That would have been nice. Wolf Rosar says he saw the news of Bungie not supporting Destiny 2 anymore. Yeah, before we get into the
Yeah.
showcase talk, we can get into that a little bit. So, Bungie ending support for Destiny 2, not in development of Destiny 3, pouring more of their resources into Marathon in hopes of building it up and rebounding. Um, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bungie. I've seen a lot of media talking about like there's not good signs. They expect more big time layoffs there. They are working on some other games in the background. We haven't seen anything announced yet. I remember one of them was that fucking
Me bears.
gummy bear game, yeah, or some shit like that. I don't. I mean, that's a code name I think for it. I don't know what it actually
Yeah.
is, but um, yeah, man. Were you a big Destiny guy at any point, Fuzzy?
I was more of a Division guy, but I played enough of Destiny and Destiny 2 to have a good time. Now, the drawback was I Destiny 1 on PlayStation is what made me enjoy playing Destiny on Xbox because people didn't use mics and nobody talked or coordinated or anything. It was just run past the ads and get to the boss. Okay. I I mean, I eventually wound up doing that, but, being a new Destiny player when Destiny 1 came out, I didn't know any better, and it was like, "Oh, nobody's talking," except for, like, my coworkers that
Mm-hmm.
are only on, like, once a couple of nights a week kinda thing, and I'm like, "I need to get to level, 30 or whatever," and yeah, the thing that pissed me off the most was when it came to Game Pass or they gave us some of the DLC, and then I bought some more DLC, and then, like, a year later, they sunset it. I'm like, "Oh, we don't have enough room to keep all this, going. So we're gonna put it off in a vault that I paid you money for." What do you mean you put it in a vault? Like, I got stuff from Division 1 and Division 2, like all the expansions, and they haven't sunset anything. What are you talking about? But
Yeah.
yeah, I had fun with Destiny. I'm calling it now. They got 6 months. They're on life support as it is. If if they're not doing a PvE version of Marathon, just cut off the lights today. Don't even bother letting this slow death happen on the current game. Just make a PvE. Tell people you're making a PvE. Maybe those that used to be into Destiny will stick around long enough to give it a try. But if you don't speak
Yeah.
up soon that you're doing a PvE marathon, some sort of component to it, just cut off the lights now. I was for shits and giggles, I was looking up Forza Horizon 6 versus Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Horizon 5, right?
Yeah.
As far as on Steam. Forza Horizon 5 has more daily players than Marathon,
Right.
while Forza Horizon 6 is out. If that doesn't tell Sony shut off the lights today, I don't know what does. It's not
Yeah.
worth even putting another dollar of resource into that game unless it's PvE. And if you're not doing Destiny anymore, and Destiny was your big reason why you purchased Bungie and that was their moneymaker, just close the doors today. Just don't waste any more money. Write it off. I mean, I know that's people's jobs. I know that's people's livelihoods. But in all seriousness, it would be better for them to work elsewhere, put resumes out, have them help Naughty Dog or whatever, than to bother with Marathon at this point.
Yeah.
It's
it
We're going to see 8,000 players become 5,000 players, become 3,000 players, become 2,000. Then it'll be in the hundreds. Then what?
yeah. It's not good for a game that's only, it doesn't have like a single player component to it, or it doesn't have like um it's just it is what it is. It's just, sold as a multiplayer game, like it hasn't gone well by any means. And I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's a decently fun game, but it's failed to capture the magic of like a lot of these other big multiplayer games that have launched. Um, and it's it's a Bungie game. Bungie's changed gaming twice,
Yeah.
right? They've changed gaming with Halo.
Mhm.
They changed gaming with Destiny.
Yeah.
Destiny was the first big like kind of games as a service game, really, kind of for consoles and stuff. Um, Halo revolutionized multiplayer gaming and first person shooters on consoles as well. Um, and then this it's here we are where they're chasing other people's trends, making well we're gonna create an extraction shooter because they could never figure out what to make that game, and it changed 3 or 4 different times until they decided on an extraction shooter. Maybe they've had the second most successful extraction shooter launch on console, behind Arc Raiders, but that's by a mile, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I guess you could call Helldivers an extraction shooter, sort of, but
Yeah.
like,
I still
it's
consider Division an extraction shooter. Like
yeah, with the raid
if they went
mode and
that
stuff,
if they
yeah.
went that type of extraction shooter where you don't lose your gear, you just
Hmm.
lose what you were finding, I think they would have a hell of a lot more players. That's just
Yeah,
my opinion, I guess.
it's just like what's best for Bungie, and like I want Bungie to survive, and it's like, but have they? Is it just the name now? Like
Yeah.
maybe Bungie is already dead, what we know of Bungie, right? They're still capable of, hey, the game feels great to play. It has good gunplay
Yeah.
mechanics and stuff like that, but like maybe the spirit of creation is gone from them. Um, I I hate seeing studios chase trends and lump everything into having to be something else, like something else that was successful, you know, because that's not what Bungie is. Bungie created things that nobody had dreamt of before when they created their
Mhm.
other two franchises. So
Yeah.
Marathon is kind of, I think it's a game that exists now, but it's not their future, right? And to move on from Destiny, which was a massive part of them, and invest more into something that is essentially failing now, might just set Bungie on the same path as Marathon, as opposed to Marathon being on the same path as Bungie, right?
Yeah.
And that's maybe not a good look, or good what's best for the studio. So hopefully the other games that they have are exciting, and can generate some hype for them and keep them afloat. But yeah, it was not a good investment from Sony. It turns out it was way overpaid. They were bamboozled by Pete Parsons, I believe. Um, he's
The
got more
books.
cars than I do in Forza Horizon. Um, like the dude is out there just collecting cars, showing it off to employees before he lets them go after they secured $1 billion in retention,
Mhm.
during the
But just
acquisition.
before they what is that called? Just before, oh, I just lost the term. Crap. Ah, sorry. There's a term for it. It was like just before they reach that goal, it's like, "Oh, 60 days and you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
your
yeah,
money." And day 59, they find
yeah,
it's like, man, it's all kinds of level of evil.
yeah. Yeah, and like one of like what I was referring to is like, and this had come out that like one of the employees, like he had just invited them over. He was like, I was showing off his car collection, all these cars he just bought after the after the sale went through, and then they let her go.
Yeah.
Right after that, like 2 days later or some shit like that.
Oh, she turned
It's
him down, so you got to go. What?
right. Uh,
That's some Weinstein stuff.
yeah, Pete Parsons, man, is a shyster. The shyster. Um, Bungie's a shell of itself now, but we'll see. Maybe they can make a comeback. Other studios have, so maybe they will too. But yeah.
Hopefully.
What do you think of them confirming they're not putting any more games on PC? Their single player games on PC. So this was that Schreier report that originally came out, and then
Mhm.
apparently Herman Holst, through an internal meeting or memo or something, confirmed that hey, their single player games will no longer be ported to PC. Right move,
Why
bad
are they
move.
like so secretive on it? Like,
Yeah.
why not just say, "Hey, at PlayStation, we're not putting single player on PC." Like, clearly, it's like somebody's afraid to say it. They just want people to wait, and you know what's going to happen? People are going to forget about their games. Like, I will buy Saros tomorrow if it's available on PC. I'm not buying any more games on my PS5. Not doing it. Put it on PC, even if I have to wait until February, I'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I going to buy it at 70? No, I'm not buying it at 70, and I didn't buy Returnal at 70. But Yotai, not buying it on my PS5. Put it on PC, I buy it the next day as long as it's not like 90 or whatever for the deluxe edition for PC.
Yeah.
Then again, there'll be CD keys or whatever their name is loaded or something where I can get it for less. But put it on PC, you'll get my money. But leaving it on PS5, you're not getting my money. Plain and simple.
Yeah. 100%, man. Um, Alvin with a $2 super chat. Appreciate you, Alvin. Says the Pete Parsons car pack for Forza Horizon 6 would be insane. Absolutely would be nuts, man. How much would that be? How much would that be?
Oh god. It would probably be like a $20 or
Yeah, yeah.
$30 car pack.
The $30
Hey, I got
Pete Parsons
16
car pack.
motorcycles and 30 classic cars.
um, then it's just like outside of the Pete Parsons garage is like all the dead bodies of the like fired Bungie employees, like
Oh,
the graveyard. Hey, this is the graveyard of all the people I sacrificed for these cars. Get it for $20 DLC today. Let's go. Um,
oh, that is cold blooded.
maybe the number one car in his car pack should be a fucking hearse. A hearse with PlayStation on the front. The fucking emblem, like a Mercedes emblem sticking up on the front. Fucking hearse.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta have the Grim Reaper costume as one of your
Oh
unlockables
yeah.
or outfits.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh man.
Absolutely, man. Um, yeah. I so as far as the PC stuff, man, I don't understand it from a business perspective from them. I know that they're trying, like, okay, they don't want PlayStation games to release on Helix. Okay, I get it. They don't want PlayStation games to be on Steam machines, right? Okay, whatever, man. But shit, these consoles are getting more and more expensive, and you're going into this next generation where as gamers we're going to have to make decisions on having to buy multiple consoles in a generation that are like not $500 and $600 or $400, $500 like we used to in the past. These things are going to be like $700-$800 in up. And even the Switch 2 just had another price. It had a price increase, right? Like a
Hmm.
$50 one.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're looking at these things, and it's like, man, like having to own a PlayStation, having to own a Nintendo and an Xbox to play every game, and still a lot of games are on PC that don't come out on consoles. At least on the Xbox, you're going to get to play those, right?
Mhm.
I just don't understand why you won't sell the game to people that are never going to buy your product. Like these people that are having these high end PCs and stuff are never gonna they're not interested in having to buy a PlayStation, right? They were content
Yeah.
with waiting, and you may get sales out of those people now. But like I said earlier, like this generation is the least PlayStation Studios games I've ever played by far. So what are you really accomplishing even then? By having one or two games maybe a year. Like Soros isn't fucking making people go buy a PlayStation. People that have a PlayStation aren't even fucking buying Soros. And if that's one of your few games a year, like that's not something that's like, oh my gosh, this is gonna force people to buy a PlayStation. You should fucking put Soros on PC. That game probably would have done decent, way better on PC than it actually did on PlayStation. Um, and you have other titles too that like Intergalactic could do really well on PC, but I don't think you're gonna have people go out and have to buy PlayStations to play it. Like you can look at a few games, right? A few games. You could look at the Spider-Mans, Wolverines, maybe God of War, right? That people will be like, "Hey, I gotta play that game." But guess what are they doing with their PlayStation after they play that one game every couple years? Is fucking sitting there collecting dust because those gamers are spending their money on the PC that they already were playing on. Yeah, you may have sold a console that you actually potentially took a subsidy loss on, maybe made up for it for the one game that you sold them, but you're not making bank off of these people just to inflate your console sales numbers. Meanwhile, we look at people that are invested in the PC community that are like, hey, I actually just prefer playing games this way because they will always be better. You get ultra wide support, you get higher frame rates, you get the latest updates for all the graphics cards, not don't get outdated like a couple generations behind at that point as far as graphics card, all these kind of things, man. And it's like, well, I think a lot of gamers like that are willing to spend that much money, like these consoles are going to be, would would be content with just buying the game on their PC. Now you're going to force them to buy a console and something they're not going to continue investing in. I just don't see the justification there to make up that much in hardware sales that's going to offset the amount of games that you could have sold if you had fully embraced actually releasing on PC. Because PlayStations ain't going anywhere. Like PS5, like you said, this could be sold for until 2030 something. You know, they already got like 90 million of them out there. Start selling games to the people that don't want to fucking have to buy a PlayStation. Start releasing the games that are multiplayer and also that have existed for a couple years on PC as well. It boggles my mind why they still won't do GT7 on PC, right? Like they won't even put it in their fucking subscription service. It's insane the standards that for consumers have as far as giving passes to companies for things. Everybody wants like, hey, we want to have prices driven up, less access to games to make ourselves feel a certain way about the products that we buy, as opposed to actually paying attention to what is the best for us with access and price, and options. And there's a big divide within gamers right now within those two philosophies. And, you know, people champion the one because of the feeling and the specialness it provides to people to feel justification. Whereas the other aspect is like just focuses on the actual experience of the user. I'm always going to side on that end, you know, as far as where I think things should be. It's not the reality we live in. Every move like this PlayStation does also potentially makes other businesses have to counter with less consumer friendly moves as well. So I don't like it. Wish PlayStation would take their head out of their ass and realize that there's more gamers in the world than just willing to buy your expensive box to play your games, right? You can do PC and have a console. I'm not asking you to put all your fucking games on Xbox. Not asking you to put all your games on Switch and all that stuff. PC and should be a de facto kind of open-ended platform. And the reason they won't do it is because they can't figure out how to open a fucking PC storefront. And maybe it's justified in the sense that they don't have any damn security, Fuzzy.
Yeah.
Like even Colin Moriarty, number one fucking pony on the planet, right? Been riding that train for a long time. Number one PlayStation defender, moving the goalpost every single move that gets made for the last couple generations, got fucked by Sony security. There is none. I guess it's very weak where he had his account stolen. And if it wasn't for his privileges of being such a prominent figure of the PlayStation community, he would still be fucked with his account. And this is not the first time this kind of shit has happened with PlayStation. And I think he's going to be covering it on his podcast as he's been deep diving into this, and he's acknowledged, to be fair, that he only got his account back because of his status, and he doesn't think that's right, really, but it is what it is. I mean, he's going to get his account back if he can. I don't blame him for that whatsoever, But hopefully there's some light shed on that stuff, right? Absolutely crazy. Do you think there's a future where eventually PlayStation can do a PC store so they can start releasing their games there?
All right. Little inside baseball.
Yeah.
What is the name of that company? I keep on wanting to say Oculus, but that's not it. What the heck is? There's a well-known security and back-end company as far as that they've Oracle. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That they were looking at, and there's some people inside the building that are like, no, don't do it because Oracle will nickel and dime the crap out of you. Ooh, excuse me, I'm getting ready to sneeze here and don't want to sneeze in the mic. But Oracle, let's say they make something for you where it's a PC store. Okay, that's great. Well, we need to upgrade for the PS6, so we need to have something where the trophies will be accessible on both a PS6 as well as the PC and back date to the PS5 and so forth. All right, that'll cost you X amount of millions to add that, a little bit of code. That code might take them 2 days to 2 weeks, but it will cost them as if it was like 10 years worth of coding, just because that's how Oracle functions. Now, there are plenty other big back end companies out there that are a little bit better pricing wise when it comes to custom builds, but somebody high up over at PlayStation wants Oracle to do it. And I think that's where they're running into problems because they're spending a lot more for very little in comparison to if I forget another good company that they could have went with, but I think, and it's nothing personal against Oracle. They're in the business of making money.
Yeah.
But that was totally not the way to go about it. Like they should have hired people familiar with building stuff like that. They could pay their salaries, and that would be, even though it's a slower process, it would be a better process, and they would have more control on the security end of things, as opposed to where I wouldn't say it's outsourced, but it's code that they don't have full rights on. Because I think when you basically get stuff through Oracle, you want additional security support, you gotta go through them because it's technically their code. Even though you bought it from them, it's still technically their code that you can't go back and customize because that's how it is under contract or something ridiculous like that. But this PC store, to my understanding, has been an ongoing thing ever since they made mention of a PlayStation PC. Actually, I think it was like maybe a year and a half It was already in the books before that was even announced, and now it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's in limbo. It's still being worked on, but their security stuff has always been
Yeah.
crap. Like I remember early PS3 days, and this is even before the hack in what was it 2011? I want to say this was probably 2007, and I'm no web designer or anything like that, but I MySpace helped my web design career a good bit, just learning basic HTML stuff, and then I learned MySQL and I forget the other name now because it's been so long since I've used it. But there are certain code stuff where you could put your information in and it would have it in the URL. And then you would, like, you know how Google search archives certain URLs? You could have your information in that URL. Now, the company I was working for at the time had a similar issue, and I told them about it. And then I noticed PlayStation has the same issue. It's
Right.
like this ID code is in the URL, and that's the person's number. So if I know somebody else's number, or if I just randomly put it in, I have access to their account now. I don't have to have their password. I just put it in the URL. I'm in their account. Oh, let me buy a whole bunch of things, and then when they go to do a chargeback or dispute it, their account is locked for good. Like, that's the crap that they did or had to deal with before even 2011, before their big hack, and they
Right.
had that where people were pointing that out to them. Other things since then, they've had security issues, but this most recent one, to my understanding, with Moriarty, is if you have an order number or some sort of receipt number, whether you ordered hardware from them or software, any game, reference number or whatever, that's all you need. Maybe their gamer tag, and I think that reference number, and you have access to the account, and you can go in and change things, change the billing, blah, 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 make a purchase, have it ship elsewhere, or have it, change the account. It's like, typically, like, all right, there's two or two-step verification or two-factor verification. You don't even need that with when it comes to verifying things. Like, if you were to go call your bank, usually they ask you like 20 questions. If you're making some major changes to your checking or savings
Yeah.
account, they want to make sure your last name and your current address and your last four of your social or your account number. Like, you need at least three or four things, sometimes five things,
Oh, I mean,
for them to even.
not even if you're changing things. Like I was at the airport last year, and we were still in Dallas, and because I was at DFW Airport, I used my card to try and get some cash out of the ATM, and the bank was like fraud alert, and I was like, oh shit, I can't use my, I couldn't go, I tried to go to McDonald's and get, after the ATM didn't work, and get some food for my daughter, because we're going to be waiting for like hours, so it was like, I want to use my card, and then it wouldn't work there. So I had to call the bank and talk to them. And then they're like, man, it's like I had to answer fucking 15 questions. I was like on the phone for 30 minutes with somebody
Yeah.
trying to get my account back up. I'm like, geez. They're like, make sure you notify us next time you're traveling. I'm like, fuck, I'm still in fucking Dallas. Like, what the hell? I haven't even left. I'm in an airport, I know, but I haven't even left Dallas yet. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Like, so anyway, it's like, yeah, I mean, I would expect that a bank would be more, hopefully be more secure than anything else out there, but like, still, like
When
these
you
accounts
get
now,
money and
yeah,
yeah.
your credit card stuff's on there, your entire library of everything you've invested. These accounts are like 20 years old now, you
Yeah.
know, over 20 years old. So, I mean, we got a lot invested into this shit. So, it's crazy to have these things pop up. I know it'll always be, there's always going to be loopholes found. There's always going to be these different things found. But this seems like pretty extreme if like 2FA wasn't even working or any of that other shit, because there was just a back end way for people to get access. Like, seems like shit, like pretty shitty. So hopefully they get that
Yeah.
figured out. Um, and I think they will, until the next thing comes up. Right.
And then it'll probably be even more egregious.
Yeah, it was hopefully not. Um, so turning away from PlayStation, Xbox. We had we have showcase coming up. We have all these things, but we also have two new executives announced. Um, we've already had several new people announced coming into the Xbox. Seems like the changes. Asha is putting lots of different people in high places, trying to like this is a complete organizational restructure here. This wasn't just a new face of the head. This was her coming in, trying to dissect what's wrong, what we need, and then trying to get the right people in place to do the task and to have the right energy and mindset. I was talking about the Mavs earlier. It's kind of like Masai Ujiri coming in as the new president, and like, okay, now we gotta, we've let several different people go from the staff, for all this stuff, and he brings in his team. This is kind of like what Asha's doing at Xbox right now to try and bring back Xbox to its glory, or return to Xbox console roots, all these other kind of things. And these two people that they brought in seem to be pretty legitimate. Like one of them is a chief technical officer. He's more of an engineer experience, but he does have a history of gaming. He is a gamer, which is good to see. But the other one specific, and that's the Vliet, Fleet. I forget how to say it again. Damn it, Scott Van Fleet. This is a CTO. But more specifically, the CSO is a chief strategy officer. Is Matthew Ball, and he's been somebody that's been a kind of a somewhat prominent figure in gaming and technology for a while now, and he's been I guess back in 2020 he wrote some kind of a thesis or something that was very popular among journalists and industry people. It also just he has a lot of respect from people around the industry. He's also seems like a very intelligent guy. He's also very big history with gaming, dating back to the OG Xbox and stuff. And he's a console gamer as well. So it's very interesting there, and he made some comments, about what he wants to do, and one of those things was not only return to console, but return, the Xbox, the same stuff, but like he specifically pointed out, bringing back classic franchises. And I thought that was interesting in and of itself, and I think that comes from his roots as like a fan of Xbox from back in the day, kind of an OG guy, and is as a chief strategy officer that maybe this is kind of like somebody you would think would make sense to have leading that side of things. And I don't know how much control he has over what gets made and all that kind of stuff, but and it seems like the people are being put in places that are going to be hopefully lead to some of these things. I've already put a list out of games I want to see brought back. But what do you think of these two new hires, Fuzzy? And do you think those are positive moves, or are they just names?
I think they're positive moves. I think Asha's looking at people that will fit with the focus on console and fit with, not necessarily shaking things up, but looking at things in a way that will benefit the brand. Um, I think she spent a lot of time, like, not only looking at what some of the competition says, like when, what's his name? Layden made his posts out there and stuff like that. And Seamus was like, oh, it's probably the end of Xbox kind of thing. And she's willing to meet and talk with these individuals, get their feedback. And I'm pretty sure some of that conversation probably centered around the console. She's already stated that even before talking to any of them, that that was the main focus. And if she can find people that she can key or put in the key spots that kind of think along those same lines, I think that's where it'll hopefully help benefit the brand as a whole. And I would like to see, maybe some older franchises return. I mean, even if we're just looking back at Xbox One, and I know Remedy takes a long time to make things, but something like Quantum Break was what attracted me to Xbox. Sunset Overdrive, although I know they're off limits now, being a Sony studio, with Insomniac being a Sony studio, but stuff like that is what brought me over to Xbox, and it would be nice to see those return. Now, I'm hearing rumors that Capcom is working on another, Dead Rising. I I think it could go one of two ways. Either make it as campy as what the original one was,
Yeah.
or maybe lean into like a, you know, I wouldn't say Days Gone, but like lean into like The Walking Dead kind of
Right.
more serious story driven version that is an Xbox exclusive or something. And I think that might help with that returning. I know there's a lot of people that enjoyed Rise Son of Rome that would like to see that return. For all the criticism that game got, that was another one that attracted me to the Xbox platform. And the nitpick that people were like, "Oh, well, the enemies are all the same. There's like only three different enemy types." And I'm like, I didn't care as long as I could cut their arms and heads off. That was the thing that mattered more. I mean, if you want to put them in different colors, oh, this enemy's in blue or this enemy's in red, that's fine. But that was such a great looking game. I know, yes, SciTech, or Crytek is the ones that made it, but I would love for them to work with them again. I wasn't as big of a fan as of Hunt Showdown. I know my sons were huge fans of that game. It was, I mean, it had a beautiful atmosphere, like Louisiana or down south kind of look, but it just didn't, resonate with me type of deal. I would have preferred something more modern, but it was a cool concept. But I rather see Rise Son of Rome kind of return. So if these new you know personnel that she's putting in the leadership positions can help bring some of that stuff back, or help her do the focus for the console, I think that's a winning combination. And hopefully we'll see the fruits of that when Helix comes out, or even towards the later part of this generation. It feels like if they had the inventory, they could probably do a good run this holiday and leading up to, the GTA 6 release, um, and any of their releases, like with E-Day. I think that might be one that they could also put some focus on and the console and have, inventory ready so people that are looking for that and pick that up and maybe pick up, Game Pass for other games. And I guess the other thing, these individuals, hopefully, in working with marketing, can help either solidify that message for Game Pass. Like, I know a lot of us in the chat or us in the community in general, we have a great understanding what Game Pass is, but there are still family and friends that I know, and I've tried to explain what Game Pass is. It's like, hey, you have an instant library for a little bit a month. It's almost like having your Netflix library, but the equivalent in games. And nobody, I won't say they don't understand that. It doesn't click. And it's not like, I mean, I think once they actually use it, it would probably click. But people are so used to, like, even in the Xbox One generation and PS4 generation, if you saw a game that you already kind of wanted on the box coming with the console that you were looking to buy, you would probably pick it up faster than just the one without the game and then buying the game separate. Because you usually would save $10 to $50 or whatever. You're like, all right, that's a deal. And then I can probably pick up a secondary game to kind of keep me busy while, um, like in between playing the one that you actually picked up the console for. But yeah, we'll see if these new hires help out in all those things. But yeah, I think the focus on Xbox will be their main target and definitely grow the brand. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting to see like just overall everything come together over the next few years. Because like all these moves that we see today, we're not gonna really see full results from them for years, right? But like the small things we see now, like the little easy things to change, the branding stuff, the little UI things, or like um certain technical stuff that they can achieve more quickly. But I think overall the vision of like the competitive spirit in a sense is kind of more of a core focus again within leadership, which is definitely good to see. I think it'll be reflected in a lot of the moves that they make going forward. So as far as exclusivity, I don't know what's going to happen. Right? I just want to play my games on the Xbox and the PC. I don't give a shit who gets to play them or doesn't get to play them. I don't want to see a trade off of Game Pass for it personally, because I'm a consumer and I use it and I like it. You know, I see people advocating and putting shit out there a lot for that. I'm just not a fan of people putting that energy out there because it's like we're consumers. Why tell people you're wanting to pay more or lose access to this option? You know, for the sake of whatever. And I get it. You think you're like, hey, the brand is gonna be stronger if this is gone from me. But like we don't we don't know that. I think people are missing out on the fact that if they do remove day and date altogether from Game Pass, there will also be a huge fallout from that.
Yeah.
Much like there was a huge fallout from exclusivity going away, right? So I think a lot of people when they're asking for these things are not necessarily considering the fact that both of these things have huge ramifications. It's not just that one side is right or one side is wrong. It's that somewhere in the middle is probably the right answer, you
Mhm.
know? And I think they got to just find that right sweet spot to where they can make, Game Pass users feel, justified for subscribing to the service and investing in it for so long, as well as, gamers that feel like they can't buy an Xbox console unless the game's only on an Xbox, right? They got to make those people happy too. So,
Well,
uh,
the question I have is why can't you have both? Like, I don't
right.
understand where people don't get the idea or get the idea that you can't have both. Like,
They've had both ever since
I've
2016, Fuzzy.
yeah, and I guess they see that as what the problem was, but I think the problem was more so some of the higher ups kind of directing the cart as far as Phil's cart. I mean, sure, he's the head of gaming, but he had bosses to answer to, and I think some of those later decisions probably were influenced by his bosses. But I said it earlier today on social media. It's like with the price that they're charging for upgrades now, for the premium upgrades, I think you can have both. I think you can have, day and date. And for those that want to play early, it's no longer $30. It's now 60, but you also get the DLC and stuff like that. I think there's a path. Yeah, I'll grin and bear it, but it's like I rather pay 60, get the DLC, get a couple of days early, and still have access to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it goes on sale for more than 10% or 15% a couple of months down the road, then I'll pick the game up as well. But you're still getting almost the same kind of money, if not more, with me having that subscription than me not having that subscription and just buying that one
Right.
game kind of thing. And then having the actual exclusives. I although Chaos Lounge keeps pointing out, I guess people saw when I made that post in the exclusives voice thing where it's like, hey, let's make all the Xbox games exclusive. Bethesda 12 months, 24-month, and Activision multiplied, except for like new IP. That way you have a good path of, hey, Xbox players, you want, exclusives? All right. Xbox Studios is your exclusives. Bethesda will be 12 to 24-month. And then, multiplat everything Blizzard and everything Activision. Now, I don't want them taking Activision or Blizzard out of Game Pass, but that would be about the biggest sacrifice I could say. I don't want them getting rid of day and date altogether. But Activision Blizzard, if that has to be the compromise, so be it. But Yeah, I think those being multi-plat, Bethesda being, timed exclusive, I think there's enough wiggle room for them to make money off of other platforms on the Activision Blizzard, as well as on the Bethesda, 12 to 24 months and stuff. So
Yeah.
and that gives studios plenty of time for the porting process and alleviates the porting process for, the Xbox studios. So I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see in June, I guess, if she says anything specific about it. But who knows?
yeah. It's like maybe they'll let the devs choose. I don't know. Like it'll be because they're going to be judging them each financially. I think is like one of the reports that came out. So they're going to be like measuring and judging the results of each studio, um, and holding each one accountable for their own selves, kind of within. I don't know what kind of effect Game Pass has within that because like there's how do you measure it exactly? And that's one of the problems actually with Game Pass is it's hard to measure exact benefit for individual games necessarily. Is it cause you can track like games time played, but how many of those were existing members that were already going to be existing members anyway? How many new subscribers did it bring in, but maybe those come in for every new game release? So how what is the specificness of that game? Like it's hard to really track and measure things, I would think, with subscription model, but it works for movies and TV shows. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
like these big streaming services that release all this original content and stuff on these streaming platforms. That's not cheap to make. That shit's not cheap to produce. To think that it can't be justified to have a subscription service with new day one content is not the reality of just media in general. You know, it's been proven otherwise actually for a very long time now. So I think the whole justification that it has to be one or the other is completely bonkers, especially when you combine the fact that there are still a lot of people that buy the games that are in the subscription services, which is even more than what happens on those streaming services, right? So like, you have purchasers, you have subscribers, all of that kind of stuff. I think they can both exist. I think options are good for consumers, you know. I don't think it has to be some kind of exclusivity trade-off. I think that was just more of a reach for them to reach more gamers. I don't necessarily think that if they all of a sudden make all of their games exclusive, Xbox is going to sell 100 million consoles. I think we're all delusional if we think that if they're going to become the number one console manufacturer out there and they're going to dominate the industry with fucking console sales because of exclusivity. And you got to look at the facts of the amount of gamers that they try to reach. I don't know what the right answer is. I think personally they should pick and choose like certain games to make exclusive and not, depending on what they see beneficial, for the business aspect of it. But as long as they keep games on the Xbox and PC, I'm happy. I think more so what the problem has been with growth in the console space has been about the messaging behind everything and how they market and to the gamers. It's not really sexy or attractive or like what they've been doing. It doesn't make people feel the need to have to. And a lot of that comes from what you say and how you say it and how you put shit in front of people, and I think that's a lot of the stuff that's gone by the wayside this last gen. It's been too much of like kumbaya shit of like the how you say things and how, you know, we're accessible, we're approachable, we're for everybody, we want to be we're we want to make everybody, you know, uh feel like they have a home here, and we want to reach as many you want to reach as you don't got to say that shit even if you're doing it. You know what I mean? That's not what gamers are going to be attracted to. Oh yay, this feels great to be all happy, and like gamers would like, oh, that looks fucking sick, I want to play that shit, you know I need to play that. You know, that's how you draw people in. You make them like have this sense of like I have to, I need to, right? I get FOMO for this, right? You don't get FOMO over like advertisements of people sitting on couches smiling at each other and like, oh look, let me, oh here, let's all be happy go lucky and shit. No, you need to have fucking like crazy shit happening on the screen that makes people like, I gotta be there. I gotta be there right now. You know? Like you gotta present this shit in like a much crazier way. Now, obviously the games that are intended for the younger crowd, you gotta have a different idea there, but you know, like you can't go in with that mentality of just like that's gonna sell. That doesn't sell shit to anybody. You can't sell fucking anything like that. You know? And selling is a huge part of any business because it's your image, and they're working on that. And I think it's a core aspect that they're gonna fix. Even if you are like PlayStation does all this same shit all the time, they don't say it. They said we believe in generations, and then they fucked off generations, right? They said we like are decide when next generation starts, but their games didn't perform as well as they did on Xbox for you know what I mean. Like it's all about how you present things, right? Um, I think Xbox is heading in the right direction in that sense, and I think they can grow within that. They have to gain the mind share, the mentality. They have to gain the people's interest, and it doesn't come from I can only necessarily play that game there, right? It's gonna come from wow, that game is there, and I want to be there, you know. Um, so I don't know, man. We'll see how it turns around. I'm excited for the future. Speaking of Fuzz, I want you to tell me one franchise you want to see come back. Just one. It's like if you could have to pick one. This is you speaking to Matthew Ball.
Hmm. It's an owned property, kind of, I think. Um, Sleeping Dogs. I
Xbox
think
Studios game.
I think Activision would still owns that. I
Oh,
think.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. I
It's
think.
weird.
Oh
Like
yeah, I
it
forgot.
was,
Mm-hmm.
they own the name, but they may not own the rights to Sleeping Dogs, the previous game that was released, or maybe they were just the publisher or something. But if they can't do Sleeping Dogs, then at least do True Crimes, which I think that's where the overlap was between those. Do True Crimes, update it. Don't try to make it exactly like a GTA clone. Just make it its own thing, kind of like they've been, and go from there. I think that's a series that is kind of a missing niche for something like that.
Yeah. That's a good one. I was like, oh yeah, fuck, because we talked about that when the whole ABK acquisition.
Yeah.
Um, I've been trying to think about this. Like I had put out a list earlier. I got to look at my list to try and pick one. Um, I put out a list and tagged Matthew Ball like a little bitch that I am. Like, hey, here's a list that I think it would be great for you to pay attention to and bring back. Um, Now this one, besides more Halo stuff, you know, like as I included Halo Wars on the list. You know, there's the obvious ones like Killer
Yeah.
Instinct and stuff like that. Um, but there's one specifically I've wanted to see come back that I think could be huge. But like they said, like Phil's talked about it numerous times, and he was like, "Oh, there's licensing issues tying up us being able to bring that back and stuff." And I'm like, "Why? You're fucking Microsoft. You can figure that shit out. You can pay off whoever you need to pay to make sure that you can do this. And if not, do it in a spiritual way. Mech Assault. Bring back Mech Assault.
Yeah.
Do it. You know, or you know, if you can't do that, make a deal with EA for Titanfall again. You know, one of the two. I accept either or, But I would prefer on like besides I think EA can do Titanfall by themselves. So I'm hoping they do that. So I'll just put the energy back into Mech Assault. It was one of the OG Xbox franchises that kind of took off and was going places, and then it never went anywhere beyond 2, right? Like let's get Mech Assault back because I think it was a special franchise that deserved more. So bring back Mech Assault. Do what you got to do. Pay off what you got to pay off. If anybody complains about you using the fucking IP or license or whatever, like just pay them off. It'll be all right. Bring back Mech Assault, man. Let's go. Um, Showcase season is here, Fuzz. We're gonna talk more about Showcase season next week, as we will have a guest, maybe 2 guests actually, next week. But we have Xbox Showcase, Summer Game Fest, State of Play. All 3 have been announced, all within a week's time span. It's going to be within like a week and a half to 2 weeks away, roughly, but for all these things to happen. I want to we'll go quickly through them. First, I have a question. At the Xbox Showcase, do we see Project Helix?
I hope so. I I'm hoping so, but I think it's not enough detail. Like I think we get something similar to, remember how we saw the chip for Project Scorpio
Yeah.
for the, what was it, the Xbox when X was released? Like it was
Mm-hmm.
almost like a year and a half or so. I think we get that level of Helix
Right.
shown, and then maybe they still rely on Keeley and show it at the Video Game Awards, almost like the way they did the Series X. And maybe we see, Hellblade 3 at that point, or
Oh,
something along
right.
those lines. Um,
Ninja Theory's next
and
game, the whatever else they're
yeah,
making.
yeah. So I would love to see it in June. At least I know they're not going to tell us price. That'll probably be everybody's biggest question, but at least show us, is it going to be like exactly as rumored where it's more than 32 gig? I mean, like, I think that's the thing that they haven't really buttoned down, is if it's going to be 24 gigs, 32 gigs, or the full, I think 48 or something that they were originally listing on that die. Like 48 is, I think, overkill, but I don't mind the overkill. But then again, that overkill is going to also overkill the price. 32 is much more reasonable, but then that'll probably limit some things. So I just show us the chipset. That's probably the biggest thing. Get us excited about that, and so we can start saving up our pennies and hopefully know that it's coming, holiday 27 or something like that type of deal.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we see it. I think we'll see the controllers that they just got
Mm,
leaked, right?
yeah.
So I maybe they'll like have a tease of Helix. They talk about it a little bit more and be like, and the controllers for Helix will actually be available this year. You know what I mean? And like, and you can get your hands on them, blah blah blah, blah and show them off. Talk about some of the differences on it real quick in some kind of flashy trailer. Um, but yeah, I think it's time. Like, I'm curious if we have some kind of lead up of like, you know, have some games that actually like are announced for Helix, you know, and then they kind of like show a silhouette or something. You know what I mean? As like a tease for the future actual full reveal. And then the controller drop. That would be pretty sick. Um, what about games? Like something that I saw Paris Lilly, shout out to Paris, had just teased that he just saw behind this, is either going to see or just saw behind the scenes showing of State of Decay 3.
Mm,
He was like he said we should be happy, basically. So maybe that's there.
yeah. I'm hoping.
Gears is obviously going to be there.
Yeah.
Another look at Fable, you think?
Makes sense. Because I think we get that before the year is out.
Halo remake, probably, I would assume.
Yeah. Do you
Um,
think we get to see a new Halo?
I hope so.
Mhm.
Like, it's time. And I think it'd be good for the studio because there's like everything that comes out from it, and there's like, oh, more problems with like shit behind the scenes at Halo Studios, the leadership and culture and all these kind of things. I think it'd just be good to get the new game out there at this point,
Mhm.
right? So that way we can have some other conversations and have some positive momentum from the studio to have like this excitement behind the stuff that they're doing. Feed off the energy from the gamers a little bit. I think could help. Um, but I'm wondering if there's like just one big surprise, you know, and I don't know what it could be.
I have an idea,
Okay.
especially something that would probably make sense to show on Helix. Although it's still early, Blade.
Oh yeah, they did say development was going well on that game.
Yeah.
Blade would be sick to have shown there. I would probably see Clockwork Revolution again.
Oh yeah. Maybe a release date of early 2027.
Uh huh. I have a feeling we'll see something Fallout. Yeah, we'll have our big
It'll be
prediction show, coming up here in the next couple weeks, But
yeah.
something Fallout, man. And but my biggest question is Elder Scrolls 6
Mhm. It
for Helix.
it makes
Announce
sense.
that for Helix. I mean, that'll be a fucking huge deal, man. You know what I mean? Like,
I will see. I almost want them to show it for the series console. But we got some more to show you. Like show how great it looks in it. Like, oh, it looks fantastic, and then show on Helix, and it's like, is this real life?
right.
Like, wait? Those look like actual actors, actresses. What? Did you just like hit a switch or something? No, that's the way it'll look on Helix. It'll look like a game on the series console. It'll look like a really graphically, stunning game on series consoles. But on Helix, it'll be like you're living it in real.
Right. Man, there's so much cool shit that could have. Like, I see the chat saying the StarCraft Ghost game, but like there is going to be a BlizzCon this year. So that's a whole
Yeah.
nother event, and like I don't know if they would hold off a reveal for something like that at BlizzCon. But just speaking of BlizzCon separately, it's a whole nother showcase, right? Like I was thinking about this, like because of the talk about StarCraft coming back and like StarCraft Ghosts being like a thing, like some kind of surprise, shocking, amazing thing, and maybe the Diablo community would not like this. I don't know, but in my head, I can't shake this like desire to be in the Diablo universe in a different way. Like, what if we actually had like a third person action RPG in Diablo? Like, I'm not talking about isometric ARP. I'm not talking about the traditional ARPG like we have with like the loot bait, like that. I'm talking about like adventure like style, like Witcher 3 esque, you know, Fable esque, in that sense, Diablo
if
RPG,
if
like
if you could build the same or similar type characters, maybe not the exact same builds, but along those lines, or have those paths, um, that could be amazing. Like
and make it chaotic, Fuzz, just like the fucking game. Have like so many fucking enemies everywhere.
you're gonna have to learn when to fight and when to run away.
Yeah,
Like this
man.
dungeon is definitely overwhelming. Like You walk into a dungeon, you see all these eyes in the darkness, and all of a sudden they all come after you. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna have to run, get behind this wall, you know, set some sort of trap or something. Yeah, I would totally love to see something like that because playing that game as an ARPG itself is so much fun, but they go into so much detail for that angle. It's like they don't have to go into all that detail. It's
I'm
like
glad they do. It looks
imagine it
amazing.
having it like a third person, or have it where it's like a valve where you can switch between first and third. I would love that. I would
Yeah.
really love that.
I mean, and if you did like slower place, like difficulty at like super hard level, like I mean the tone and everything of Diablo with the music, and like you could have the loot and everything with your characters. I mean, you could have something that, my mind goes to Elden Ring in a way,
Mhm.
but Diablo, not necessarily as soulsy as that, but
Yeah.
like some kind of in between there. I'm like, oh man, that would be insane if they could get somebody to build something with that. But speaking of, they did it. Warhorse Studios is making a fucking open world Lord of the Rings game, bro.
Yeah.
That's insane. Kingdom Come
I mean,
Deliverance developers, by the way.
yeah, those game the first one and the second one are excellent. Like in the level of detail and RPG elements and just the level of layers, whether it's clothing or like skills and techniques and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And they're gonna do that for Lord of the Rings. Like,
Yeah, storytelling
and
is so amazing with that studio, like the writing and stuff.
yeah,
They got the right studio, man. They definitely got the right fucking studio to partner with there.
yeah,
Um, so as far as the Xbox show, man, I think it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to see it. I am ready for some surprises and stuff. I think they're gonna have, maybe there's some kind of shadow drop they could pull off, but I think they're gonna try and take advantage of this show to really try and revitalize the energy. I know a lot of people are going to be focused on what logos are they going to show at the end of all the trailers, right? I do agree they should not have the other logos there. Even if you do
yeah.
plan on putting the games there, like you shouldn't have the logos on your show, right?
Make
Um,
make those players find out on their platform for
right.
themselves.
Yeah, it just takes away of like the whole Xboxiness of a showcase when you know what I mean. It gives more publisher vibes as opposed to platform vibes, and I think they need to
Yeah,
go for platform vibes, at a showcase of their own. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they do there. But like regardless, I think it's going to be absolutely fucking incredible. 25th anniversary, I think they're going to go all out, and I think they're going to try and make it about the next 25 years. You know, and so I think because of that idea of the next 25 years, I think is probably how it's going to be presented. I think that, like, I'm trying to imagine this 25th anniversary of Xbox. I think there's going to be a sizzle reel or something of like of the past 25 years. The good moments. Give all of us, like, fans a nostalgia of like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then but this show is about the next 25 years, and especially what's coming in the next couple. But I think because of the idea of the whole next 25 years, I think that's why we get a tease of Helix. I think that's why we get a tease of some of the bigger things like Elder Scrolls 6, you know, maybe some of those things from Blizzard or whatever. And I think some of the bigger projects that they know are not going to get canceled, right? Like
yeah,
could be potentially shown off in some kind of way at this thing to promote that future. Like Xbox is here, it's here to fucking stay. We're committed. Everybody get excited for all of this shit, and now's the time to jump back in, right? I think that's going to be the energy behind it all. So we'll see. Um, but besides just the Xbox show, we also have Summer Game Fest, Keeley's show.
yeah,
It's improved each year the last few years, Fuzzy.
yeah.
His Game Awards show has always been the top dog of the two. Last year's Summer Game Fest was pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, with where we are in this generation, my thinking is that, because this is like a third party showcase more so than anything. I don't think Sony's going to have as many big things here because they have their own state of play on the second right before it.
Mhm.
Do you think that this is going to be the biggest third party showing for Summer Game Fest yet?
I do, but I'm hoping it's more centered around some of the big titles that we haven't seen or heard from in a while.
Yes, as
Like,
opposed to just look again, or new reveals, hopefully. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm hoping we get an update on Judas. I'm hoping we get an update on not Encore. What is that? Is it Envoy or something? The one that was made by former BioWare devs that it
Exodus.
almost
Exodus.
Exodus. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to see an update on Exodus. I know I think both games are slated for 27, or maybe Judas was 26, but we haven't heard a firm date yet. But I want at least those two seen. I doubt we get the Bioshock 4 stuff. I know there were some rumors, but it's sounding like it might be in development hell. I know we're going to get at least one, if not two, games that are on par with what we saw from the opening trailers for Black Myth Wukong type stuff. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's two games that one is a China Project one. The other one, I don't know if any publisher has picked it up just yet, but I'm hoping we get to see a couple of those because one of them is like supposed to be like a Korean studio that's making like a John Wick type game, and we saw it once on like it was either an ID at Xbox or something along those lines a while back. So I'd like to see an update on that. It's a shame that Gang of Dragon, I think it was. I think that's pretty much a canceled game now at this point. It would have been nice to see if that studio could have got another publisher or more funding, but I think we get to see a lot more indie games that are going to be, I won't say game changers, but I do think we get to see a lot more Expedition 33 level. Not saying it has to be turn based, but I think we get stuff that is out of nowhere from these smaller studios that look like big budget games that you know are going to punch way above their belt as far as being a small studio on a small budget, but having something that looks like it's AAA or very expensive and be able to deliver. I think we get to see a good number of those. But I'm going to be there Saturday, so fingers crossed it's a good show and we're not throwing tomatoes.
Yeah, man.
I think it'll be a good show though.
What is the percentage chance that Keeley gets GTA 6 on stage?
Hmm. I think
I'm thinking close to 10% maybe.
I, I think it's a slim chance because Rockstar and Zelnick, they don't need anybody. They could
Yeah.
put a post on Twitter at 12 midnight tonight, tune into YouTube at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and
Yeah.
12 million people will view that thing in the first 15 minutes. So
Mhm.
they don't need anybody. Like Keeley would have, you know how Keeley charges
Yeah,
$1 million
yeah, yeah.
for like the he would have to pay them a few $1 million. They'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, you want us there? Yeah, pay us 2 mil for this 15-second trailer to check out YouTube on Friday or something like
Yeah.
that." That would probably be what they give him, and yeah, he had to pay out of pocket to do it.
I kind of feel like if he did have it too, like he would probably promote that just to draw more eyes, because like there's everybody would watch, you know. It's not like, hey,
Mhm.
we're gonna have a first look at this next game. It's like, hey, we're gonna have fucking GTA 6 here, guys. Like it would bring in the masses. So he would probably try and sell that to sell his show. I mean, even though if you do have it though, the amount of replays of it is going to be insane. So I don't know. It's I don't think he'll get it just because, like you said, like I mean, they could literally just make a tweet, like you said, that's just like the video. They could just put it on their YouTube channel and let it go, and it'll be the most played trailer of all time. You know, like it's they don't have to do shit. You know, so anyway, but PlayStation. The interesting thing is like if PlayStation, I think it was maybe somewhat confirmed they have the marketing rights on it. So I don't know 100% there. So like that's the only thing kind of like maybe PlayStation has some pull there, and like their PlayStation and Keeley are like best friends. So
Yeah.
there's a possibility with some aspect there. I'm not sure, but yeah, man, it'll be a fun watch. I think regardless, I do expect some big games. I expect some like it'd be cool if we got another look at Witcher 4. Some things that are further out. Like it'd be cool if we got another look at like you said, Exodus and um, maybe get a surprise reveal from EA. I for some reason I think there would be some kind of tribute to Zampella.
Yeah.
You know, he was very prominent at Keeley's shows, always sitting there, but Keeley would cut to him quite a few times. Like Modern Warfare will probably be officially in Modern Warfare 3 will probably be officially announced at the Xbox show, or they could have it at the Keeley show. They could talk about Zampella responsible for Call of Duty, responsible for Medal of Honor, responsible for Titanfall. Give props to him, and then maybe EA hey, surprise everybody, we're making fucking new Titanfall. That would be
That
pretty
would
damn
be awesome.
cool. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, it'd be interesting to watch, man. Overdose by fucking Kojima. Where the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It could be
I
something
think
that
we see,
either see that at Summer Game Fest instead of the Xbox show.
I think we get to see at some point this year. It's like you said, either uh Summer Game Fest, Xbox Showcase, or the VGAs. It's going to be at one of those three,
Yeah,
or Tokyo Game Show. So four shows. One of those four shows, it's showing up.
yeah, and like he's been on Keeley's show once to hint at it, and then another one to have like Jordan Peele up there with him. So it wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me to see him there again talking about that project. So, all right, then we got State of Play, Fuzz. State of Play is officially happening on the 2nd, but it's
Yeah.
over an hour long supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of feels like more of a showcase than a State of Play in a way with the
Mhm.
length of it. They did say an in-depth look at Wolverine, so maybe that's kind of like a 15-minute, 20-minute thing within there,
Yeah.
possibly, maybe less. Is 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 this the 2016 E3 that they had where they are in this generation? Are they ready to finally reveal that the next couple years has lots of big giant first party games coming and show them all off? Because that was what happened in 2016,
Mhm.
and that was kind of towards the tail end of the generation. Then I mean 2 or 3 years before the end of, well, not before the end of it, but before next gen consoles. They're at around the same point now. We expect
Mhm.
probably PS6 is maybe 2028 possibly. So you look at 2026 to 2028, that would kind of fall in line with 26. So it was maybe a year or two early, but like 2016 to 20, was it into 2019, into 2020 when the new consoles came out. Um,
Yeah.
so about a year difference maybe or so, but pretty close. Do we see this be that showcase for PlayStation that we rarely get, or is this just going to be another one of those third party shows? I got to go to this E Ranks comment first, real quick, because I saw it and it made me laugh. I gotta find it. He said, "Shout out to E-Ranks. I think this year's Xbox Showcase and Summer Games Fest will be the two best shows we've seen in a while. I also think State of Play will be a great third-party show." Shout out to you for that one. So is State of Play going to be another big third-party show, or is this finally that show we've been waiting for PlayStation?
I think it's going to be a small mix of both. Well, a small mix of that Sony showcase that we're looking forward to. Sure, Intergalactic will probably be there again, uh, go into more depth, but not an exact release date because I don't think they're close enough on that yet. Maybe we get to see Sony Santa Monica's God of War. Was it his wife or something like that that they were going to do in the next story? There's also, um, well, yeah, well, Wolverine, Intergalactic.
Because I released Sorrows. That was the other one that
Yeah,
they had cooking. Wolverine
I
Intergalactic.
think.
I What other fucking games do they have that we know about in development?
Well, they have Insomniac while they're doing Wolverine. Maybe we get a peek of if Venom is still a thing. I think Venom was originally supposed to be DLC for Spider-Man 2. Maybe Venom is now kind of like a Miles Morales
Yeah.
independent, you know, spin-off of 2. Or maybe they go for the long shot and show not Spider-Man 3, but show X-Men. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think it was supposed to go Spider-Man 2, Venom, Spider-Man 3 in 3 different parts, and then X-Men. Because they're doing Wolverine, maybe they because things got leaked, maybe they jump straight to X-Men. So they have a small team working on, doing like a vertical slice of that. Outside of that,
It's hard to say. We don't know. We don't know anything,
I-
but like
they are capable. I think because of the size of Naughty Dog, I think they are capable to work on The Last of Us 3.
yeah.
I know that that is in, pre-production or early stages, so they could show us that. Or maybe they grow some balls and actually release factions because I I stand on my square on this one. Factions, even in its canceled state, like where it was 80% complete and before the day before the announcement they canceled it, that version that they built that day or whatever they had up to that point, I guarantee you they release it tomorrow or whenever, it does better than Concord and Marathon combined. You could probably
Yeah.
even throw Fair Game in there and it'll still do better than all three of those combined. I, I
Well,
hope they
that's.
surprise us with something like that.
I mean, Concord didn't do anything. So, like, and like every fucking game does better than that. Uh, but yeah, like Marathon had like a decent launch, but not great, but like it was okay, and then it just kind of has been tailing off. You would like to see it grow, but it's not. Um, Sinistral Jace's Yote PC announcement. Them moving
Supposedly.
away from PC, does they still do Yote? I hope so. That's been on my mind. Like,
Yeah.
I really fucking hope they still at least do Yote because that was maybe something they'd already been working on. You know, I don't know. Um, Besides that though, like fair, they have fair games, like you mentioned, fair games.
I,
Maybe that'll
I,
be awesome. I don't know. Jade Raymond's gone.
I well, I'll without being console warrior or what have you. If Sega canceled Hyenas, why does PlayStation think that they could do better with fair game? If nobody, if you don't know in the chat, look up Sega Hyenas. Look at their trailer and then rewatch Fair Game's trailer. Which what do you think would do better? And I almost guarantee you the one you think would do better was canceled a year and a half before their game was announced. So, well, uh, good luck to those guys. I Haven Studio, no Jade Raymond. I'm surprised they still exist. And what
Yeah.
is Nixus going to be doing? If
I think it
how many
only
multiplayer
exists.
games are they going to?
It's true. I think it only exists, Fuzz, because of how deep they were into development, probably. You
Hmm.
know, I or they're like, man, we got to release something that we've been fucking making for all these years. I mean, they still kept that Horizon thing. Um, they could show that. So I'm trying to like, I want to watch this show and get genuinely fucking excited to buy games on PlayStation, right? I want to. I want to. Maybe Wolverine does that, but that's just one game. Intergalactic. I probably actually excited for what that game could look like and play like. So I want to
Mhm.
see more of that one for sure. I don't buy into all the bullshit out there with the whole like, oh, it's the protagonist is this, they're force feeding. Like, it looks awesome to me, man. Like,
Yeah,
I love the whole like retro style, 80s style, futuristic shit that they have in that game. Looks really awesome to me. Um,
and it appears you're going to be like a bounty hunter kind of. So
yeah,
I think that works. I hope the best for that game, but if for me to get genuinely excited to want to buy something on my PS5 again, these are going to be some long shots. There either needs to be Gran Turismo 8 or this would be wild, but and I doubt they would do this, but I'm going to put it out there. A, something made by Polyphony Digital that is like a
Forza
Forza
Horizon.
Horizon.
Yeah,
I want them to make their own version because there's no more group that made Drive Club. The same ones that used to make MotorStorm and Drive Club, they disbanded long ago. I would love to see what they would do. And honestly, I think that's the competition that Forza Horizon would need. Not that I think it would be, match it, but what was it? Through Motorfest.
mm-hmm.
That was almost pretty much like a blatant copy, just dropped in Hawaii kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I would love to see Polyphony Digital do something along those lines. Another one that I would put out there, something that is like Uncharted, but not Uncharted. Naughty Dog right now, they already got their hands full with Intergalactic and
Yeah,
The Last of Us 3. I mean, The Last of Us 3, because I own, at least on PC, I own The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 on PC. I've yet to play 2 on PC yet, but do The Last of Us 3, wrap up the story, just kind of, put a bow on it. And then a long shot. And I have I used to know a perfect group that would have been, they could have, either purchased or work with for this SOCOM.
yeah,
'Cause I've given up on them doing like a twisted metal. Do SOCOM. And it seems like they've given up themselves on doing, you know, oh crap, resistance. I don't think they're ever going to do a resistance ever again. But, you know, another thing that would get me excited, a Sunset Overdrive too.
yeah. That'd be cool, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's something they could do that's different. You know, like that's not the same things that we've been seeing. I'm curious. What's the studio that did Day? What's the fucking name? Days Gone. What's it?
Oh, Bend.
Bend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they didn't get shut down, right? I don't think.
No.
And we haven't seen their new game yet. I don't think either. So
I think they said something about their Games as a Service game was canceled. as well.
Right. So they are, maybe they have something else already that they at least can announce. Like
He's going to.
yeah, Days Gone too. Um, for me, like, okay, dream PlayStation things, right? I agree with you with the Polyphony Digital thing, or like another studio or something, or whatever that's partnering with them, so that way Polyphony doesn't have to take the bulk of the work. Kind of like maybe like PlayStation found their own playground. The only thing that makes me think that they may not is because they don't need to now, because Forza Horizon is going to PlayStation. So they're like, well, if we release it, this is going to compete with the biggest fucking one of them all. So it'd have to be inherently different in some way. Because, like, Crew
Yeah.
Motorfest already tries to challenge that, and they do a pretty good job in making, like, Crew Motorfest is a
Yeah.
good, fun game, but it's still not Forza Horizon, you know? So it's like, what would they have to accomplish? The only thing I could think of is if they made it even kind of more hardcore sim open
Mm.
world would be interesting, because I don't think anybody's really done that in that space yet. So
And make it where you can race for pinks.
yeah, like it's like a hardcore kind of like, racing game, full of that kind of Gran Turismo culture that they have out there, with like a hardcore career. Like you're starting from
Risk it
ground
all.
zero, and you really have to work for every fucking car, every aspect. Kind of like a living world aspect
Hmm.
game, where it's over long periods of time you make your strides, as opposed to like it's kind of like the antithesis open world racing game to Forza Horizon 6. Because like that goes to the heart of what Gran Turismo originally was in the first
Hmm.
release. Um, and it would be interesting to see them take that into that approach. That would be it would be a cool thing to see. But can they do it? Can Polyphony make an open world game? Who knows, right? It takes them forever to release a Gran Turismo, so I can't imagine doing a fucking open world game for them. But maybe they can use all the things from GT7 and make it easier. But I would love that, dude. That'd
We
be a
got
dream
5 cars and
situation.
2 streets.
Yeah, 5 cars and 2 streets, a neighborhood. They're gonna make a neighborhood game, you know. Um, let's see. We got the. I'm trying to think. Like, okay, so one that would get me super excited, but I think is fucking super long shot. Mainly because Sucker Punch is a Ghost of Yote or Ghost of Tsushima Ghost of Yote studio. It seems now. But if they brought back Infamous,
Yeah.
I fucking loved Infamous, man. It was so fun, and it also, PlayStation's got the superhero games too, so it's kind of like, do
Yeah.
they keep producing their own superhero shit when they have Marvel stuff that they're making? But Infamous was so cool, dude. Like, I love the effects and stuff in that game. Second Son was so awesome, man. I loved the vibes, the music, everything in Infamous Second Son.
I would like to see them kind of blend the ghost of like Tsushima and Yotai with Second Son. His power will be like electric blades or like fire blades or something like
Yeah.
that this go round.
I could just see Sucker Punch being like, we want to make another Infamous, and like Sony being like, no, we have Spider Man, we have Wolverine, we have X Men, like we don't need to invest in this, like, and I'm like, fuck, I want Infamous, dude. Um, but that would make me excited. Something Uncharted or like Uncharted would get me really excited. Like you said, I don't think
Mhm.
that's probably gonna happen. Something from Sony Santa Monica other than God of War would
Yeah.
probably get me excited. Like, I would really like to see another franchise spawned off of there. That's something I'm more interested in. That's kind of a little bit different play style and stuff. Um, Supposedly they were making a futuristic game as well. At some point, it was rumored. I thought. So we'll see if that
There was a
happens.
lot of rumors that Barlog's game was going to be a space game, and I think people got
That
the
one,
wires
and
crossed.
yeah,
I think Intergalactic was the space game, but it wasn't Barlog's game. Barlog, I guess, is doing that. I think somebody said Faye, um,
oh yeah, yeah,
you
got
know,
a word.
Kratos' wife or something. So it's like, okay.
If
I mean,
that gets
it could
announced,
be interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, if they make a big giant God of War game, and it's not like, and it's a spinoff, and it's like Faye or something. And I kind of think God of War community might lose their shit, because last thing they came out with the Sons of Sparta thing,
Yeah.
and then now here, you know how the culture wars are going and stuff right now.
Yeah.
Like, I can
But if
just,
you
I'm not saying it'd be a bad game or wouldn't be something that would be awesome. I'm just anticipating the reaction of like people with what's going on in the world with people's reactions to certain things, you know?
no, you got to make Faye look curvier than Stella, and then you're sold.
Right on.
Just
That's
saying.
that's that's the answer right there. More TNA and everybody will be happy, right? Make it Stellar
Hmm.
Blade, and you're good to go. That's acceptable, right?
Hmm.
According to that crowd. So,
Yeah.
oh man, I don't know, dude. I don't think that would be their approach. I don't think that's their style, Fuzzy. I don't think that's their
No,
style.
but that somebody's got to make that game. I saw there was something I saw on Twitter the other day, like when they have all those the developers say, "Oh, my game is this." Somebody is making a fairy tale thing with Little Red Riding Hood and Sleeping Beauty
Mm-hmm.
and something else, and it's like they got sliders for different body parts for
Right.
these for the
Crazy.
women. And I'm like, what console? Oh no, it's a PC. What do you call it? Like crowd-funded game. I'm like, that's the game that the Gooners need to start funding or something. I was like, what in the world? And they were like, oh, we got jiggle physics now. I'm like, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
No,
That's
if Faye was that, I could see it selling at least 1,000,000, if not 2,000,000 copies, or at least 1,000,000 more than Stellar Blade at that point.
mm-hmm.
Let's put it that way.
I just want them to surprise me, I know supposedly they're making the X-Men game. I'm really curious about that, to see. Maybe I don't think they're going to show it yet until after Wolverine releases. So, just some cool new shit that is going to genuinely be something I'm not expecting, that gets like, "Oh, that looks great." Cuz Intergalactic, I thought, did that for me, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe they could do some more things like that, and just some surprises. I'm kind of over like the whole Last of Us God of War era of PlayStation. That, like, there's this
Mhm.
era that's like Horizon, God of War, Last of Us. You know, it's kind of my least favorite, even though it's a lot of people's most favorite. I
Mhm.
didn't resonate with those three franchises at all. So I would like to see new different franchises spawned that I do resonate more with, and that'll probably get me excited, you know. And I think like Ghost of Yote is like an example in the Ghost, series. That's an example. Hey, that was something new that that I do like. Haven't played Yote yet because I was waiting for it to come to PC, but I don't know if it's going to happen now. So we'll probably end up having to get that on the PlayStation. Um, but yeah, I have hope, man. Some fun multiplayer games that don't have to be all these games of service shit. Like, they back in the PS3 era and early PS4, they had some like different kinds of games that would come out that were fun to play. Like like Motorfest was great. You had Drive Club came out. They had like Destruction All Stars. They had all these different kinds of stuff that they were putting out that was like fun to experiment with. They had like what was the Sackboy game? Little Big Planet. You know,
Yeah.
they had lots. They're just being innovative in all these different areas. It's I kind of miss that a little bit. They rely too much on Astrobot for that now. It seems like, and that's another one I'm not into. So it's not as sort of I hate PlayStation. It's just that like the things that they are the most behind have been the things that I just am not jiving with for whatever reason, right? So I'm hoping to watch this one and get fucking excited, and I hope they change their decision on the whole PC thing, but that's doubtful that that will happen. All right, Fuzz. Well, that covers those 3 showcases. We'll be doing like a whole prediction show, guys. Probably on what is the date of that's Tuesday for State of Play. So I guess next week.
Yeah.
We'll have a prediction show. We'll see if we can't get some more people in here for the prediction show. I know we will have one guest. And probably 2, because there's somebody else that said they're going to make an appearance for maybe 30 minutes or so. And Mag said he will be here next week for the show. So shout out to Mag. So everybody can get confused saying Mav and Mag. Boom said he's going to be available to stop by for maybe like 30 minutes or so.
Nice.
Maybe I'll try and reach out to a few more to see if we can have a bigger prediction thing. We'll see what happens. But gonna have some energy in here next week, everybody, for our predictions and stuff, and looking forward to that. Fuzzy, do we have tidbits?
Oh yeah. Let me
play this. Let me play this trailer for tidbits. All right, everybody. This is Tidbits, the segment where we look ahead at the games releasing for the week, in which I get numerous copyright claims every single week, which I have to fight, and that sucks because we should be able to do this because we are reacting. This is a reaction, reaction to the games releasing for the week. Supposedly, if you say it's a reaction, they don't flag you as much, but I doubt that. Hey, reaction time.
Yeah, we were reacting to the trailer, so yeah.
That's 100%. If I challenge them all, I'll win.
Most important part of being a hero.
What's this game, Fuzzy?
Or the desire to fight terrifying monsters.
It says it's supposed to be coming out today, but I can't download it today. And it looks like on PC they're saying June 11th. So this one, if you see it on your PlayStation or Xbox store, you should be able to purchase it. I think they said $29.99, but if not, then expect this maybe June 11th.
Right on. Bistro.
Yeah.
Turn-based tactical cooking and harvesting.
Yeah, it's almost like Spot and Overcooked combined.
They also bring back monstrous ingredients from the wilds, which helps me unlock new recipes, preparing them for the dangers ahead. It might seem a bit bleak outside the wall, but we're all in this fight together. Each of us brings our own unique skills and flavors to the table. It takes a village to save the world. It looks like it's gonna take ours.
PlayStation.
3-bit should be here for this one.
Oh.
This is Coffee Talk Tokyo, coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Actually today for $14.99.
Yeah, he loves the Coffee Talk games. Shinji says, will Boom be able to stop long enough obsessing about exclusives so he can make predictions? I hope so. Was he being obsessive about bringing back exclusives, or I don't know. Like, we're gonna have fun talking about games for a little while regardless. I always respect Boom's opinion regardless of if we 100% have the same. I've seen a lot of shots going back and forth between people in the community over this whole exclusivity and Game Pass shit. I don't think that our conversation needs to exist.
I'm a believer of both can exist in the same space. Don't take away the day and dates. I'll continue to subscribe. Want to make things exclusive? There's a compromise that they can make, but as long as I get my day and dates and Ultimate, because that's what you're paying for, kind of thing. That's all that really matters. But I don't know. We'll see what June brings.
Yeah. I don't like when people go after each other, calling people not Xbox fans, you know, because they have one opinion on one thing or the other. I think we're all fucking Xbox fans. We just have different ideas of what we think is the right direction for, you know what I mean? And I've seen some Xbox fans be like, you're not Xbox fans, or Game Pass fans, you know? And I've seen like some Game Pass, like people are like, hey, no, keep day and date and Game Pass, being like, you know, people that want Game Pass to go away, or like not Xbox fans, are like fake ponies or something like I'm like, why does that have to be a thing? Why can't we just all like have different ideas and opinions about how it should be? And that's fine. But I do see a lot of flip-flopping on this too, where people have been arguing for Game Pass for this entire generation, and then all of a sudden it's like, nah, we don't need it. Let's get back exclusivity. Right after exclusivity disappeared because of the console war, like, died because of that, it's like, let's get exclusives back, so what can we sacrifice to make it happen? You know what I mean? And it's like, it flies in the face of every argument you've been making about how Game Pass is not a problem this entire gen. So I mean, it is what it is, you know, but like, I've seen a lot of people say that stuff that sound like the same arguments that PlayStation and media was making all gen, which I'm not saying that they're not Xbox fans though. I'm just saying, like, they've changed drastically on their thinking, and it's kind of an admittance on their part that the other people were all right. So if you're going to say that they were right, say they were right. I don't think they were right. I think both can coexist. And I think that's what we should all advocate for personally, but if people want one or the other, hey, they're both still Xbox fans, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I couldn't protect her.
Oh, previous one was King of Tokyo for $29.99 on all platforms. This one is in Game Pass. It's called Luna Abyss. It's coming to PS5 as well as Series X and S and PC. If you choose to buy it on Xbox, it's $23.99. I think it's $29.99 if you just buy it on PC or on PlayStation, but it's included with Xbox Game Pass.
Please, don't do this.
It's kind of bullet hell, kind of like Soros in a way.
yep. They need to make their like Xbox Play Anywhere and Xbox Game Pass logos down there with capital Xboxes.
Yeah.
They got the branding everywhere else on social media and everything, but their Xbox Game Pass, like their official like badging for the boxes and stuff, still has a lowercase. So they're gonna have to invest in changing that shit too.
Alright, this is Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus 2 coming to PlayStation 5, Series X and S, and PC today for $35.99.
I had no idea this was. This is the ARPG like Diablo. Is this the upgrade? What was the first? Was the one that was already out Mechanicus 1 and Mechanicus, or was Mechanicus 2 already out and this is like an upgrade? I can't remember.
There was another one that had a different title. It was, I forget what the other title was. Because I had to make sure I got the, the right trailer. There is another one that they have out now. This is the newest one. This ARPG style kind of works for this.
Oh, is this a tactics one? Turn-based tactics. This is turn-based tactics. Oh, this is tactics. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Warhammer's so many different games. I remember playing the ARPG one, like with Pong.
Mhm.
and I can't remember what it's fucking called. And then there was this one, which is Tactics.
The king have their own objectives, Megastorms. It is a mercy they do not understand.
Bob says, or not Bob, Brett says, what if Luna Abyss performs better than Sorrows on PS5? I had an opportunity to review Luna Abyss. I didn't ever get it, but it's because I just knew it was gonna be in Game Pass anyway, so it was like I didn't care about getting it early or anything. But I always thought the trailers looked pretty cool because it's on PC and Xbox Game Pass as well. It might have more players for a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's it? How did it review?
I don't think I've looked at the reviews of this yet.
I'm gonna check Steam. Mostly positive on Steam, but barely any. It just came out today.
Yeah.
I know this
Yeah, I don't think it'll do better
from a nightmare.
based on the amount of reviews it only has so far. Push Square gave it a 8. Bad.
Not too bad. All right, this one here is Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, coming to Switch 2 today for $59.99 for the digital copy and $69.99 for the physical copy. I mean, I appreciate them doing a cheaper digital copy price, but I really wish others would pick up on make the digital copies $59.99 and the physical $69.99.
Yeah, I really want that Lego Batman game, dude.
Yeah.
Search high and low as you venture through, and maybe discover what else you can
I hate
do.
when good games that you're actually really looking forward to come out at the same time.
So use different
Like, you gotta pick and choose. Which one will you play the most off the rip?
because if
And then you wind up having the other one stay in the backlog almost forever.
curious green friend named Yoshi
Many
and
good
the
games coming out at
Mysterious
once.
Book, available now only on the Nintendo Switch 2 system.
Yeah, I don't care if they like Vin. I don't care if they release games on PlayStation or not. If they take them away from PlayStation, I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit. If they put them on PlayStation, I'm fine with that too. I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't affect me either way, man. It never has.
Right. Zero Parades for the Dead Spies comes to PS5 and PC this May or today for $35.99.
Yeah, I've always said also, like, from day one when they announced all this stuff, like, if running the business wise, I wouldn't put them on PlayStation. Like, but you know, I'm a consumer. I'm not running Xbox. You know, and it doesn't make me less interested in playing on Xbox.
I guess.
Sure reminds me of Disco Elysium.
And her methods are so unhinged.
But they get results, no?
Long-range missiles get results.
What I
I'm
don't
assuming
get,
this is probably made by that same studio.
what I don't get is the people that sold their Xboxes because games were going
Everything that could go wrong.
like to PlayStation and PC or PlayStation, and then when it's announced that they potentially one day might not be going to PlayStation anymore, all of a sudden these people are like, I'm buying an Xbox again. Like your
It's like they
experience,
wasted all that money.
their
GameStop.
experience wasn't going to change from then to today. They still get the same games on Xbox either way. They always have. You know what I mean?
You know, GameStop is the only one that benefited in that transaction.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, this is Bubsy 4D coming to PlayStation 5, Series X and S, Switch 2 PlayStation 4 as well as Xbox One and the original Switch and PC for $17.99.
Oh.
Actually, I guess that comes out tomorrow.
Okay then. Here are the
Right
right
on.
ones.
Oh, Ben says, what I meant is it's not going to affect Game Pass. It's not putting games on PlayStation, but people make it sound like Game Pass now relies on PS game sales. Yeah, it's never been hand in hand. You know what I mean?
This feels
Like,
good.
I think Call of Duty was the big X factor there. You know what I mean? And maybe you could have a couple other titles. What we had brought up is like taking Call of Duty off of it, even with the price drop, does open up a little bit of a can of like which other games do they potentially see in the future, you know, that they could potentially have that mindset on.
And of course, me in beautiful HD. Oh yeah, it's
But
all
we'll see.
coming together. Are you ready?
I think that there is a potential shift where they let the studios
We're not even
just
scared of
like
GTA.
decide at some point.
Mean it got delayed again.
Right, this next one is Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn Edition.
I
Coming
see.
to Switch 2.
I see Batman.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. No, wrong one. Lego Batman. This is the big one this week. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight coming to PlayStation 5, Series X and S, and PC for $69.99.
Does this one have the Kiss from a Rose song in it, or is that the other trailer? Okay, I think it's the other one.
If you devote yourself to an idea,
There's a trailer that has I think it's like maybe the deluxe edition trailer.
you become something
Mm,
It has like the Kiss from a Rose song from Batman in it. It's
yeah.
pretty sick.
Ah.
Oh, this is it.
All right, mute it.
Fuck it. I'll let Seal sue me.
a legend, Mr. Wayne.
Rose on the grave.
Would you mind if I borrowed these?
Way I see it, all this stuff is yours anyway.
Yeah. Now that your roses can bloom.
I wonder if this will make WB realize that they messed up.
Yeah.
When this thing sells 5 million copies in
Right.
a week, they're gonna be like, "What did we do?"
Yeah, oh yeah, man. Like
He thinks he works
the
hard,
handling of
but there's
Rocksteady
always someone there by his side.
at fucking WB is like crazy. Ooh, although I like Suicide Squad, so I don't know.
Get ready, Gotham, to have a cold heart like mine.
It's just not what people wanted.
You're welcome.
I still feel like we're in Bizarro world because I remember early in development, Gotham Knights was supposed to be by them, and then the other studio was supposed to be doing Suicide Squad, and then it's like they switched studios.
Yeah,
Which one was working on which?
they did.
And
Yeah.
I think if they had just left it alone, they probably would have done better with both.
But there was even more to that. Like there was like WB Montreal, I think is the one that did Suicide, or not Suicide Squad. They did the other game, right?
Batman.
Gotham Knights.
Or Gotham Knights.
They had an idea for a new game that they wanted to make, and Rocksteady was gonna do, you know, their Batman thing, and they were like, no, we need games of service, blah blah blah. And I think WB was really pushing Suicide Squad at the time because like they had the movies and all the investment there.
Sword's useless to me without someone to
It
use
seemed like a forced kind of
I finally
actions.
decided to come along with you all. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning.
Let's see. We could probably turn the music back on this one.
who I want to fight for. That's
Right.
who I am now.
This one is Tales of Arise
I mentioned all of my
Beyond.
I told you before.
Yeah, Beyond the Dawn edition coming to Switch 2 tomorrow for $49.99.
Myself to the future inhabitants of this world, so the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
I want a world built on kindness, on giving, on warmth. You take and destroy. I'm nothing like you. Sin is for the weak. The powerful care only for domination. I've had it with your mad ramblings. I'm through taking orders from tyrants.
Good series.
You think
Yeah.
I'll let you? I'll save everyone. And Sion!
I don't think sales of games have been doing as well on Switch as Switch 2 has on Switch 1.
If it's not a Nintendo game,
Yeah.
That's why I want to help
and
Nozomi.
and even some of the Nintendo games aren't doing as well, but like Mario Kart, obviously, because people were buying it separate as well as getting the
Yeah.
bundle. Donkey Kong Bonanza obviously was doing well. Pokemon, the more recent one, or Pokepia or whatever, that obviously did well.
Yeah, I think
But a lot of the
Star
other
Fox
ones-
will do well, but like all these third-party games and stuff, it didn't, like, reports kept coming out that like they're not selling, you know.
I'll put it to you this way: I'm not going to buy a game that I can get the better version on the platform I already
Yeah.
own. So if I already own a PlayStation or an Xbox and the better version's there, I'm going to get it there. I mean, it would be cool to have it portable, but then that's
Yeah, but, like,
where
Xbox has
an Ally X or a Steam Deck come in handy.
I mean, on like a lot of these games also they even look better playing. You know, they look better playing the cloud from Xbox as opposed to natively on a Switch 2.
Yeah.
If you have a good internet connection.
Oh, this is Enter the Chronosphere. It's an early access on PC coming May 25th for $14.99.
Love the colors.
Yeah.
At least Star Fox is 50. I think it's gonna do pretty decent. You know.
Yeah. See, Star Fox is that type of game that they'll do 10 million copies in like a month or less.
Yeah. How many copies do you think Forza Horizon 6 is gonna sell? I mean, they have 6 million players right now. I'm guessing half of those are probably sales, half of Game Pass,
Yeah.
maybe.
I
Ballparking it.
would expect before this month is out, it's 10 million players, 5 million sales. I would say by the June showcase, it will probably be able to put an advertisement that it sold 5 million and more than 10 million playing. By the end of the year, I think they have 8 million sales, nearly 20 million players.
Social life basics are there, but still lacking some
Maybe even
interactions,
more than
things
8
like
million
organizing
sales. So
social
we'll
events and
see.
growing other paras.
I remember Horizon
And then
5 ended up hitting like
PlayStation-
40 million at some point players or some crazy
Yeah.
shit like that.
But we plan to add emotions and celebrations in the future.
That was before it went to PlayStation, I think.
We've designed a cozy town for you
Yep.
to discover.
I think it
but
was
still lacking
44
some
million
activities outside of
players.
shops and collectibles to find.
And to my understanding, it was well over 18 million sales, maybe close to 20 mil. So it wasn't quite half, but it was pretty close to it.
A wider variety will be
I wondered if like
Sales.
this, like,
The build mode is
what do you
such
think? What is the
that
most
important features are
sold
still down.
Xbox
Tools,
made
business,
game of all
more
time?
advanced
Is it probably
state-of-the-art tools.
Halo 2
At
or
launch,
3?
modders will be able to add all kinds of custom content to the game.
It's gotta be
as
one of the
easily
early
find and
Halos.
install using the Steam Workshop. Over the last 6 years of development,
And anybody in the
50
chat know
challenges
like
have
what's the
been
number
put
one
aside and
selling
reviewed.
Xbox Game
We prefer to
Studios
let you know
game
when you're
ever?
ready. Within the
Besides
next 2 years of
Minecraft.
early access, we plan to add
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Minecraft is number one, you know, besides that.
pets,
And besides Call of Duty at this point.
Yeah, and besides Call of Duty.
expect hundreds of hours of gameplay just yet. We aim to get there by adding more content and depth based on the feedback.
I would
we
say
get
it's
from
got to
you.
be one of the early
As a
Halos, like
small
prior
team
to
of
Halo
passionate
4.
life simulation fans,
Pre-Call
we
of Duty
pledge
era,
that all
yeah.
future updates and
Yeah.
expansions will be free. We are so grateful and excited to.
I would think
embark on
maybe
Oh, this
3.
is
Paralives and improve the game
Paralives,
together with your
early
help.
access PC.
See you on May 25th for Paralives Early
There
Access release on
wasn't a
Steam.
wasn't a price. So I think it might be free to play or it's going to be under 40. This is Lumentale. Memories of Trey coming to Switch and PC on May 26th for $24.99.
I mean, all the rankings I find for sales for Halo 3 is like old, you know, so it's like
I'm assuming those reach closer to like 15 mil, between 11 and 15 mil, right? Or maybe even
yeah,
more.
about like it says 14.5 mil, like from, but that's like old information.
Yeah.
I mean, Forza Horizon 5 might be. Actually.
I'm pretty sure that one was close to 18.
And it sold like 5.9 or so, 5 something on PlayStation.
Yep.
So I think Forza Horizon 6 could end up being the top selling Xbox game of all time.
Mm-hmm. And it will be at a higher price point.
Yeah.
But when 5 sold, it was at the $69.90 or $59.99.
I mean, and I'm not counting ABK shit, and I'm counting like the classic, like Xbox Game Studios, like, because if you put like fucking Skyrim in there, you know, you put fucking stuff from Bethesda, like Fallouts, and if you put fucking like Call of Duties in there and like Diablos and all that shit, like that's another stratosphere, you know. I'm talking about specifically like Xbox Game Studios games. Game looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lumentale. Yeah, the hype at Halo 3 launch was insane. I remember me and Kate, we went to Walmart right after we got the game from GameStop. We got our fucking Code Red. We got Mountain Dew Code Red. We got like our fucking Doritos and shit. We came home, fucking played multiplayer.
This is Realm of Ink coming to PlayStation 5, Series X and S, Switch, and PC on the 26th for $24.99. Kind of gives me like a hand-drawn, a slightly different hand-drawn version of like Hades.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It was good animation.
Yeah.
You know what I would love to see announced?
What's that?
With all the Marvel shit PlayStation is doing, I would like to see, you know, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was great, but I would like to see a new Marvel Ultimate Alliance and not just put on Nintendo. I'd like to see a fucking either Ultimate Alliance 3 port to Xbox and PlayStation and PC, or Ultimate Alliance 4 that's like multi-plat, you know, and brought everywhere. That would be fantastic. Announce that at the Keelys at Summer Game Fest.
That would probably do well. Oh, got another game for the State of Play.
What was that?
Marvel Token.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. That might be one of the few games I wind up... Oh, no, because it is coming to PC. Because it's multiplayer.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that on PC. I'm an Xbox controller. And I'm gonna fucking launch it from the Xbox mode. That'd be cool. Il Retito. Maybe a Marvel deals, DC. All the stuff from the Phil Spencer era is out the window. He didn't like making necessarily a lot of those third-party license deals because, like, he wanted to focus on only their own IPs. Like, you could see more interesting deals. Like, I think that was already shifting some at the end of Phil Spencer's era because they, had Marvel Blade with Arcane. You had the Pirates of the Caribbean, Sea of Thieves content, stuff like that.
Yeah. Right, this last one is
Today, the city
Ibarra or Ibarra Buena from the PS5, Series X and S, and PC on May 26th. I think this one was also $29.99.
That crazy biker guy, he's taking Russell hostage.
This suitcase, it belongs to the biker.
Let's see what's inside.
What is this thing? Where am I?
He watched the developers who created this world and the tool they used to fix its mistakes, the oscillator.
Interesting.
Wanda and Jorge are not gonna believe this. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Jorge, where are you?
Trying to learn their weaknesses.
I can bring Russell back myself with this thing.
Come on, boys, let's go kill that bastard!
This city gets weirder and weirder by the moment.
Somebody's been trying to slip a power up to the biker. Tell us who and where it is.
Interesting.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, that was interesting. Not a whole lot this week. That was to be super excited for. Although I think technically it's next week is First Light. So we should see that trailer next week. Lego Batman, obviously, this week. And we already had Forza Horizon 6 officially launch. So, lots to be excited for. And showcase season's coming around the corner, guys. Thanks for being here, as always, Fuzz. Thanks for doing tidbits, man.
Yeah, no problem. Always enjoy being here. Sorry for being late. Field trip and feeding the cats, which luckily the orange one's been quieter as of late. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's been a ton of fun. And for everybody out there, if you haven't played already, hop into Forza Horizon 6. Ton of fun. Even if it's just to go sightseeing or cause traffic jams or just get frustrated on the highway because you missed your exit. Another thing, but the way they did the highway layout, awesome. Like,
oh, I know, man. I love the loops.
They knocked it out of the park.
Oh, dude, when you're doing a street race too, like on there, like for the the story, the separate stories you have the street racing one. That's fucking incredible, dude. Like the night racing with the red smoke and shit, guiding the path. Instead of the flags, I was super happy to see that they had like this this other thing there was giving like this atmosphere and stuff. It's so cool, man. It really gives you the right vibes when you're doing those races. So, and I had one that was on the highways, and I was going through a loop, and it like had me go around a loop like twice before you get on that highway. It's like, man, it's so fucking cool, dude. They nailed it, bro. Absolutely nailed it. We should be in a convoy at some point, or I'll start challenging your ghost and see how hard it is.
I got to get some better paint schemes and tunes. So hopefully I get those put together by this weekend.
I've only done 2 paint schemes, and they're very simple. I've gravitated to like a less busy look on the cars and more clean with like very minimalistic things on it, you know. So I have like a small fun speculation badge like on near the wheel well on 2 cars, and then like I have a white skyline with some black accents, and then I have a black Supra that has like the fun speculation like old school logo color, the teal blue that matches the logo as like accents on it with some white also. So I got screenshots out there in Discord if you guys want to see your screenshots. They're also, I've been posting some on Twitter, but I'll be posting lots of sorry if you guys get sick of the screenshots from Forza. I'll be posting a shit ton because I absolutely love it. But yeah, thanks, Fuzz. I want to see your cars, man. Share them in the Discord or on Twitter or something, man. I want to see what you're riding. Cool. Well, where can everybody find your rambles and rants, sir?
Oh, anywhere on social media. Just do a search for Fuzzy Belvedere or Forza Belvedere, I guess. You'll be able to find me. Probably also, well, tomorrow we're going to be doing the movie Mimic for my wife's podcast for Right Night with Ferocious Fee. If you like the movie The Fly, kind of along similar lines, so definitely check it out. Come hang out with us. Not that we'll be making fun of the movie, but we'll probably be making fun of each other about the movie. So yeah, fun times.
Right on, man. Well, Fuzz, thanks again. Chat, you all rock. Again, thank you all for being here this week. Audio listeners, shout out to you again. If you liked the episode, make sure you leave it a review on your audio platform. If you're here live, hey, don't forget to share this with somebody and say you got to watch this fucking show because it's awesome. Or if you hate it, say, hey, you got to check out the show because these guys are fucking idiots. That's cool too. You can share it that way. Like, notification bell, sub to the channel, all that stuff greatly helps us grow. You guys rock. Appreciate you, and have a fantastic night. Peace out. Oh, outro. Boop.